Sirloin might be sleeping today because, gosh,
Well,
bad
hello
time for
Internet.
him. Hey everyone, welcome along. Great to have you here for another episode of Adventures in the Dales. We have reached the very precipices, the edge of Mithranor. We're at the edge of Mithranor. We haven't quite made it yet, actually. But we're in the vicinity. We're getting very close to the fabled City of Song. And we happen to stumble first across a group of hapless adventurers. They call themselves the Red Justice, and they have a dashing red sash that they put across their arms or their forehead or their waist or so on. That reveals themselves to be a member of a warband dedicated to justice and fighting the Zentarum and freeing Flan, a city that lies at the edge of the Moonsea. Um, we teamed up with them and ran into a Zentarum outpost, our aggrieved enemies and theirs, and we assaulted their tree fort. And soon overwhelmed it. Our ability to master mobility and our defensiveness, and the fact that we're able to hit multiple places at once severely overwhelmed the defenses of this tree fort, and it was soon taken. But it was not a complete success, for evidently one of the commanders, a purple-robed wizard whom we did slay, is being carried off by his manticore. And this beast flies through the boughs of the forest, being lost among or danger at least of being lost among the trees of Tormanthor. Um, and But for the most part, it would appear that there is just not anything practical that these Zentarum soldiers can do, experienced though they are, when they're placed up against the coordinated forces of a dedicated team of experienced killers. They meet their match. It looks like the Manticore is first on the initiative, and using its movement, it is going to be able to fly completely off the map, placing it within the sanctuary of the forest. Um, you could probably still have a vague idea of where it's going based on your own intuition, and the fact that birds are flying at a rapid rate out of the boughs of the trees as they're scared by this apex predator that they are. But you certainly lose sight as it disappears some 60 odd feet off the map as we know it, taking the corpse and the staff with it. Dahlia. Dahlia's not
Dahlia's
here.
not here.
We established that, of course. That good on your sirloin. You've been an excellent player. Hope to see you again next week. Raz.
So was Manticore, as you were saying, is it like unfollowable?
Not necessarily. You would just be. It would be difficult, extremely difficult, perhaps, to find him at this point. He's in an enchanted forest. He moves faster than I presume you do. He's not as smart as you, but he's pretty clever all the same. So it would not be easy to locate him from here.
I wanna, God, I wanna chase him.
You just need a polymorph to like just a faster flying beast, probably.
A giant eagle.
They're pretty fast.
80 movement speed. But I'm sorry, one sec.
Yeah.
I suppose if you did that, I could like just get on back and shoot arrows at him.
Yeah, I was wondering, if I turn into a giant eagle, can he ride on me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, but that's. I don't think that would work because if I get every time I get hit, I would have to make a con save, and those guys have crossbows, I think.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure if they see a giant eagle swooping in to get some other guy, it wouldn't. They'd open fire at it.
I mean, we don't know how far it's going. Like, we could have multiple turns of just the other manticore, but it's your call.
Yeah, I'll polymorph into a giant eagle. I'm currently invisible. I'll drop in, that concentration and turn into a giant eagle with polymorph.
All right. Do you have a giant eagle token? Probably not, right?
No.
Didn't think so. I think we can make that one up. You're starting to use your giant eagle enough that I think it justifies. We're getting a token made up.
All right.
Okay. So here's that's not right. Try that again.
Very funny looking giant
Majestic.
eagle.
Yeah.
Majestic.
I made up like old tokens years and years ago. And you've got to delete them first, or it won't let you import official tokens from the monster manual, which I didn't know at the time. This should work. There's a giant eagle. I'll give this. Well, I guess you won't need sight in this particular instance. So I won't bother making it up to the point where it's probably got sight, because I don't think that the eagle's going to be used in many dungeons anyway. You should have control over it now. And there's your start block if you need it.
All right.
Okay. So that takes an action, presumably?
Yes.
Okay. You still have movement left if you wish to use it.
Nope. All right. It has an 80 flight speed, so I'm just going to take off.
Yeah. Jump off a tree and turn into an eagle and start flying. It's pretty cinematic, majestic.
Yeah, so I'll go.
Can you get anywhere without provoking attacks of opportunity? I'm not sure.
I was just invisible, and I don't think I'm in melee range of anybody.
Is a concentration spell? You'll lose the invisibility.
Oh, yeah, I'm breaking invisibility and immediately turning into, but I'm
Yeah,
not in melee
yeah.
range.
No. I just thought perhaps you were gonna. I don't know why, but I thought you'd cut through here. But it's a three-dimensional space anyway, so that's something we should keep in mind.
Well, didn't it fly off the other way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but is the kobold? Where is the kobold right now?
65 feet that way.
Yeah, right. And I was thinking that you were going to pick them up for some reason.
See, I would, but I'm pretty sure that would provoke like everyone to make an attack and just completely waste the whole thing.
You'd probably be right. Yeah. So yeah, like if you could use 3 dimensions to not provoke attacks of opportunity, but while you're picking him up, you might get full of crossbows. Yeah, that's a practical possibility.
I can get most of the way to you. Like, my character's pretty fast.
Fuck. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. I'm taking up so much time. I'm going to go. I'm just going to book it and try to follow him.
Sure thing.
Okay. Sorry, I'm taking so long. think that's 90 feet.
That's about right. All right, Debbie.
Alrighty. This is gonna come 20 feet over here and take a whack at that guy.
I think they surrendered.
Yep.
Or are they still fighting?
They just moved.
Oh,
Yeah.
the younglings
Yeah, I'm gonna.
surrendered. I mean, yeah, I remember now.
Yeah. It's a tentative surrender, a Zentarum surrender. Yeah.
I just remember them backing off, but not like actually surrendering.
Yeah, I think you can both be right.
Okay, so that changes my plans then.
Uh-huh.
Oh, 7 force damage to that guy.
Bam.
And I'm gonna try and smack this guy. And miss.
All right. And your sword begins to tumble out of your grip. Make a dexterity saving throw. And then falls completely, sailing out of your hand and coming to a rest 60 feet below you in the dirt.
That's fine. Spirit Guardians rolls bad. That's 14.
Right. I'm going to finish that one off immediately. That one off immediately.
Maybe at the
This
beginning of their
one.
turn, but yeah.
Oh yeah, good point. I'm honest. Yeah, good point. I think I'll just do it now though, because
Yeah.
it's convenient and I've already started. Um,
If it goes through walls, that young
That
witch
one
is
there
going to
could
be
be.
so sad.
oh yeah, it goes. Oh, does it go through walls? I think auras do. Yeah, I think auras are completely, but I'm not sure.
You
I
had
know
it not
spells
go
aren't.
through when we assaulted the castle we now own.
Then we'll go with that
But,
one then.
Yeah.
And also that's a bit
Yeah.
warfare, I guess. That you can't suddenly die because some insect plague on the other side of a wall.
Yeah, but I think spells might be different. Like auras and spells might. I don't know if that's. I don't know. But in any case, I agree with you. It is kind of lame, cheesy. So, how much is the damage and how much halved?
7 halved, 14
Right.
normal.
Okay.
And as my interact with object, I'll pull out my spear.
All right. And all of these bodies are soon tumbling down to crash among your half-buried sword. The guards are being met by the invaders from the south, but they still have some degree of confidence, not knowing just how dangerous their opponents are. They have the strength of numbers, and that gives them a false sense of confidence, which is unlikely to be rewarded.
He was holding his attack for when they approached, so
Excellent. He has that hold attack icon, so I'm glad that that's the case.
have his sheet up again.
Oh, absolutely. Here we go. Your 112 hit point ally.
A good ally.
Oh gosh, it's not how it's meant to be. Mithranor is meant to be hard.
Maybe the real treasure in Mythal was the friends we made along the way.
God
Possibly.
damn, I hate you.
But perhaps he cannot select which of the many enemies to attack as they all come into view, and he ends up fumbling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perhaps he drops his sword as well, but it's not so consequential. when you're not 60 feet up a tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I feel like you're trying to tell me something, Arctic, but I don't know what it is.
I'm more trying to justify my own arbitrary ruling than anything.
He's just sold you invincible.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't hit with the sword yet this combat.
yeah. The sword's not the trouble anyway. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Completely agree. One of the strikes is quite devastating, and a few of the others either hurt or come close. But this monster of a man has taken on these odds many times before, and it's a total of like what 5 plus 2, 7 maybe.
Did my dad get skipped
Yeah,
after Devi?
7 damage.
I think he takes like 7 damage. So it's such an utterly insignificant injury that they are barely scratches on this monster of a man. Tarnok. These guards get their chance to assault you as well. Though I have a sneaking suspicion that their level of success will be similar to what they experienced with the Gladiator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think it did, Noble.
1 hit. The 22 hit. 11.
Are you raging?
I am.
All right. So a 5, I think, is even less significant than the injuries that your ally received. These cuts and scratches and knocks do no more than knock a hair out of place. A Tarnok, how do you retaliate?
Well, let's start swinging that axe.
Noble got skipped.
Oh, I apologize for that.
Oh, so because I think my microphone's playing up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
He can go before I go.
Excellent. The fault is mine.
Okay.
Nubble.
So these crossbow dudes here, they shoot. I guess they're shooting.
Yeah, they're unsure what to do, but when they see the giant eagle transform and take off, then they at least get an idea of something where they might be useful, right? Like,
So also, like they're
yeah,
unsure, but like with the giant eagle, like the fight's starts off again.
something like that. Yeah, that's basically it. You know, they're looking like, well, this is a completely lost cause. There's nothing that we can do. And then the giant eagle takes off and is like, well, I've got a crossbow, and he's not. Yeah, they get an objective that they might be able to achieve.
Well, the first thing that happens is Nobble becomes visible at the start of his round.
Excellent.
Oh, I'll try to. There we go.
That's fantastic. But not quite enough.
Will that get them?
That works, yeah, that gets them all. There's 4, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I think as before, I'll choose cold. So I'll use my action to breathe a cone of cold on, not a cone, but a 30-foot cone of damaging breath.
Brilliant. You snap freeze the platform instead of setting it on fire, thus avoiding a fire hazard that could potentially destroy Elven heritage.
Look at me. Nubble's a natural dragon now.
There you go.
DC,
a dragon that looks
14
after the
dexterity
environment.
save.
Sort of. Yeah, no worries. I think of 2 of those 6, 2 of them passed.
So it's 19 to those who fail, half that to those who, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. They are snap frozen, but it seems that they've got a lot of training against these sort of spell attacks. They force the armor to take the brunt of it and turn their shoulders so that it doesn't catch them in the face. And not one of them falls, even the ones that cop it the full brunt. They are hardy warriors, after all.
Yeah, I'll use some more movement just to, climb to the side of like the large branch, so they're more hidden.
Excellent, excellent.
And then I'll let my turn's ended, and then the Drake will fly 60 feet down. Because he'll move dash, so 60 feet down, then 20 feet towards like where the sword was dropped.
Sure. So 60 feet will put him pretty much on the ground, and yeah, so 20 feet towards is about halfway. Yeah, roughly.
Try to find a token that indicates like underneath.
Yeah, I sometimes use like the blue circle as my altitude meter, but I mean like you know how you've got like circle for hit points, and some people use blue circle for armor class. So sometimes put it in there. But anyway, yeah, it means that you can put a number there. But anyway, that's just what I do. So returning to Tarnok, you're surrounded by several halberds. One of them gives you a bit of a bump on the head, but that's hardly significant. How do you respond surrounded as you are?
All right, so we will swing my axe at him.
Sure. And he falls with a single blow.
Use my second attack here.
But he is able to duck, and all you would meet is his halberd instead of his neck.
And because I'm hasted to get that extra attack, I will swing at him again.
This one he cannot possibly see coming. How does he die? How do they both die?
After taking a spin, after just catching the little bit of spear that the halberd that caught me, backhand axe through one, following through, and coming down straight to the head of the other.
Brutal and shocking for the men who currently flank you. But they like where they are. They're in a good position. That's what halberds are for.
And I need to. Am I in melee range with them or not? I'm not, right?
You are not, but they are within range of you.
All right, I will closer to these two.
They are not happy about you closing the distance.
And we'll end my turn there.
So will that trigger attacks of opportunity from the two he moved away from?
It will. It will. Thank you. It will.
That's what I was figuring.
Yeah. So it gives them a chance to retaliate.
Well,
and I believe one of them will hit. Both miss? No.
Haste has me +2 on the AC.
Excellent. So a couple of stabs come in the back, and one glances off your armor with ease. The second one would have chopped into your shoulder. You're able to see it coming and make it hit your pauldron instead of the flesh. The wizard, I believe, fell from a tree and has perished. Does that sound accurate?
Actually, the gladiator turn now.
Oh, of course.
I almost forgot myself. So.
Yeah.
So the gladiator will. I'm trying to see. He has a spear. He doesn't get any. Does he have any extra attacks, or is it just single attack?
If it doesn't say multi-attack, he doesn't, but it might say at the top. Yeah, multi-attack.
3 melee attacks. All right.
Yeah.
So he will, he will go after this guy here with his spear.
But he is proving to be out of training, having dropped his spear twice. He's somewhat humbled, having to pick it up again.
All right, he will continue to attack on the same guy.
Saving all his good rolls for himself.
That will at least connect. And it'll fell a man with a single blow.
And then with his third attack, he will swing here.
And takes the pressure off the flank completely, making it a much easier spear fight when you really only have to face one direction.
And that will end his turn.
All right. My priest has fallen. The veterans realize that there's not much that they can do up against Debbie's power. So they back up a little after having taken the spiritual guardian's intensity, and instead take position at a junction area and use the dodge action to attempt to hold their position and allow it to advance no further. These ones would have engaged the Drake but are unable to. The Drake Seeker, however, so you're flying what in between different branches, are you?
It's just I think that's to show that I'm climbing between the branches.
Yeah, great. Yeah, which is fine
I've,
too.
climbed down to take cover on the side of the larger branch.
Yeah, and naturally these branches don't come close to representing all of them, and there are small and thick ones, and wherever the green part connects, you can consider it to be kind of a walkway for a character as small and as nimble and as agile as you. A squirrel could make it through, and so can you. So that's fine. It gives them something to target. Are you positioning yourself so that you have maximum cover, or from these guys, which would expose you to those guys, or how would you consider? Yeah, what do you think?
I think the way it's I've put myself covered mostly from these guys here.
Yeah, that's what I'm inclined to agree as well. And so we'll give you +5 to your armor class against them as they fire out with their crossbows. I think a fourth one as well, but none of those are going to hit, surely.
No.
While these ones who do actually have a shot at you instead target the eagle.
Yeah, that's that was sort of what I was hoping. Well, sort of hoping for.
Yeah. You kind of read the tactical situation, or the same situation that they did. Yeah. All right. So the heavy crossbow has a range of 100 feet, a short range that is, which means that there are a handful of them who are going to have a decent shot on the eagle before it gets away. 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to be able to target at advantage. So I'll do the disadvantage ones first. 1, 2, 3, 4, which means 4 at disadvantage. So these 4 fire from too far away. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fucking A. Was that one hits for 2?
No, they're at disadvantage. So the 14 will hit one at disadvantage. Yeah, I guess
they do a lot less damage than I thought they would.
Dexterity is pretty low.
What do I need to roll? A con save?
That's right. Concentration.
Is that on my sheet or the eagle sheet?
No, the Eagles. The Eagles Constitution.
Oof.
This
You
is
made it.
10.
You made it.
Oh, yeah.
Shrug off the pain.
Now I
And
gotta
then come
take a few
4
more.
4 more strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1 hit, 2 hit.
2 hit. That's a total of 11 damage.
Oh no. Yay! Yay!
Yeah, hanging in there.
And that puts
Go
me
Good
plus
timing
one.
for good rolls.
yeah, 16 health.
You're doing okay. Doing okay.
And then on my turn, they won't be able to hit me. If I wasn't
Yeah.
able to hit them. Hit the Manticore, yeah.
However, there is some bad news.
Those younglings better stay in there. I'm gonna go Anakin on them.
All
that?
right. Yeah, I can't quite remember what happened with the young ones. So
They
like
watch
siege
people.
down.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they're pretty scared. Like, yeah, they're pretty scared.
They tried to magic missile me, and I went shield, and they're like, "Oh,
That's all right.
oh."
I'll give them a fear test for each squad of younglings, of which I think there are 3. Yeah,
Oh.
a wisdom saving throw.
Do any of the groups have Chad Wizard who like rallies the?
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
Chad Wizard. I'd watch that anime.
He's friends with the jocks as well as the nerds.
Yeah.
All right. So DC 10 wisdom saving throw. East. No. North. No. South. Yes. All right. So these guys, they're like, no, this is terrible. This is terrible. I told you we should have joined the Harpers. These guys are the same. They fear for the outcome and back off. But the ones that are closest to Devi, ironically, are the ones who figure that death is coming to them one way or the other. So what can they do? And the 3 of them line up and at the edge of 15 feet, they unleash with everything they've got, which is to say a single first level spell. They cast Burning Hands. Now, hang on. Actually, wait a minute. Let me check these staves. Because they can up the charges on the staff of the apprentice, can't they?
Yeah, I think.
Then they're gonna treasure.
If only I had fire Oh wait.
Oh wait. Okay, 3 charges. So they're gonna cast a 3rd level Burning Hands. Ignore that one. That was a miscast.
Did they burn a charge earlier with the magic missile or no?
That's a good question. They have 2 innate spells, and they did cast Magic Missile. So I'll put it down to 50-50, whether it was from the staff or their own spells. I didn't really take care of it.
Also, is Burning Hands on their staff list?
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. Detect magic, identify, mage armor, mage missile. So they can't burn any slots. They'll just do it at first level. In which case, that first roll will apply. So will these next 2. All right. A total of 30, assuming all fail, and as if you didn't have resistance. Okay.
So that 6 becomes 3 becomes
3.
1.
3 becomes 1.
That 9 becomes 4, so I've taken 5. And that 15 becomes 7, so that's 12.
12. So you are scorched. It's a relatively mild injury, but scorched all the same.
It didn't get me through my temp HP.
Right. So it blasts away some of the magical protection, not even all of it. And the apprentices call for Bane to witness that. and the Manticore continues
Don't worry,
to
they'll meet him
crash.
soon.
They're counting on it. The Manticore continues to crash through the trees, taking the corpse with it. Dahlia is confident, maintaining her concentration, and Raz is in control of his mount.
Who's controlling the other person that's with us? If Dahlia's not here.
I don't think it matters too much. Yeah. Like, you can if you want, but like by the time she gets anywhere. Yeah. I will just put her protecting Dahlia. They can be, they're both generals, and so they can watch the battle from the general's perspective at the back.
All right. So I am going to fly and dash. So 160.
Yes. Which
is
puts
the
you not
Manticore-
far off the map.
You said how far?
Yeah, so if you go 160, you'll be about
95.
75 feet off the map. Yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah, I mismeasured. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, your numbers are more accurate.
About that, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, about 70 odd feet off the map. I can't remember how far the Manticore was already off the map.
He was going to be 200 if he dashed, I believe. No.
Right.
Wait, is that it? 200 if he dashed?
Sounds about right, which means that he's got a bit of a head start on you, but not a great deal. You'll inevitably catch up to him if you're able to spot him in the first place. What's your eagle's passive perception? It doesn't.
14.
It's not that 14, which is pretty good. You wouldn't have a beat on him, but you'd have some idea. You'd hear him crashing through because manticores are not subtle beasts.
And he has advantage on perception checks. So.
And he has advantage on perception. Yeah.
Is he running or flying?
Oh, flying. He's flying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but
if
he's
he's
flying
dashing,
below the tree line, so he's staying in cover.
is that possible for? No, I won't go into that.
Yeah. If you've seen like a movie like Avatar, something like that, imagine jet fighters. Jet fighters fly in between canyons, and most winged beasts are more agile than that. So yeah, imagine that. Yeah. In a no stress situation, it's only you can do it passively.
That would be 100. So I'd be gaining him on 60 feet each turn.
Yeah, exactly. So it's inevitable that you will catch up to him in a minute or so, assuming that you're able to continue to follow his path. All right, so that takes Raz out of it for now, as he goes off in pursuit of other quarry. Devi.
I'm gonna have the spiritual weapon keep hitting this guy.
Mm.
He's
dodging.
dodging, so I hit disadvantage, right?
Yep.
Does a 20 hit
Sure will.
for 10 force?
And it cracks into his armor. What sorcery must men fight? He asks.
And I will pull an Anakin on the younglings. Step in. Start with a spear to this one.
Brilliant.
And miss, because I never hit with melee.
He blocks with his quarterstaff, staff of the slave. Hey, protect me!
It's okay, you'll see him soon. And that would be 19 damage on their turn.
All right. And that will inevitably cause their destruction.
9 or 19, depending on whether or not they fail.
Yeah, 9 is about as much juice as they've got at second.
My boys.
Noble. You hear the screams of 14, 15-year-old boys dying as they are pummeled to death by the fury of the spirits.
I mean, he's got little sympathy because they tried to start a forest fire. Like, how is that going anyway?
That's right. Anybody who tries to start a forest fire should be destroyed by being torn apart by
I mean,
spirit.
like, he's 14 as well, so I mean, they should be old enough to know better.
Shouldn't be old enough to know better. If they were very good boys, they'd be down in dungeons clearing out drow.
Well, what is the fire looking like? Like, is it spreading or is it just
It doesn't look like it's going to get out of control. It is spreading, yes, but look, it's probably going to do a lot of damage to this particular structure. Not going to destroy it, but it's going to do a lot of damage that might take 100 years to regenerate. But in the broader terms of starting a forest fire, that's unlikely to happen.
He's going to move here. Use his last charge of Nature's Veil to turn invisible again as a bonus action.
Brilliant.
And shoot off 2 arrows at the one just above, like the one that's above Cass.
Yeah, absolutely.
One with sharpshooter, one without.
Not a problem.
And I have advantage because he can't see me, right?
That's correct. On the first strike, anyway.
And then he'll know where I am.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
That's if it drops the invisibility.
Yeah, like when you
It
attack,
doesn't?
it drops. So I guess it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't drop it. Oh, okay, right. That's my mistake then. If it doesn't drop it, then. Oh, that's right. It lasts until the end. Yeah, of course.
Does
Yeah.
24 hit?
I remember
19
specifying.
19 hit?
Absolutely. 19 will also hit. Yeah.
17 on the first one.
Brilliant, brilliant.
I didn't mean to do damage. And then we'll 25 hits. And that's about 6 points of damage.
So it's 17 and 6, right?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And you severely injure this veteran soldier and drive some arrows into him, from which he will surely die. But for now, he stands, and the stoic warrior that he is, he's able to put the pain to the back of his mind. Keep soldiering on.
And then Cass will fly 20 feet. Grab up the sword. And then
Huzzah!
Then fly 20 feet straight up. Dash.
All right.
And then be just underneath the platform when he ends his turn.
It'll be back in Debbie's hands within moments.
He's going to take cover under like the stair thing.
Okie dokie. The guards yet outnumber their quarry and believe that they can still be victorious as a result. The ones over by the gladiator reposition themselves so that one of them comes in from the rear, but not one of them is able to hit this nimble giant who moves with the speed of a hunting cat. On the eastern side, the halberdiers also attack their quarry, and they are
one
a lot
hit
more
with 22
determined.
hits.
One thing you got to give it to him. He's able to anticipate where you're going to move and how fast you're going to move. And if they all swing their attacks together, it seems inevitable that one of them is actually going to hit.
So that's 3 damage.
And when they look at the minor cut that it's created, a single drop of blood coming down from an insignificant scratch, that is when they know fear.
And seeing that little nick just enrages me even more. Swing here with my axe.
devastating. Off with their head.
Him next.
That'll. Oh, what have they got? Chain shirts, but no shield because I got a halberd. So you just cave the rings of chainmail into his chest, and they cause even more damage. It takes him out, and you've now got the wall to your back and a couple of halberdiers in front of you. It's no longer 6 against 1.
Then I will use step into him with my movement for my hasted action, my hasted attack, and attack him.
Of course. But he's trying to back off and uses the halberd defensively to fend you off. But the gladiator has a plethora of targets just the same as you.
Yep. So first attack from him will be here.
Straight through the heart.
Is this guy close enough? This guy's close enough for the spear, right? So.
No, the spear needs to have a 10-foot reach, and I don't think it does.
You can throw at 20, but yeah.
Yeah, you can throw it. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And just kill the rest of the
I'm
guys with
gonna
your shield.
take my second attack here.
Yeah. And impales another.
And then third attack here.
Alright, this one you will have to move up for, and he'll get a stab at you for what it's worth. It is not worth much. But the distraction gives this man the time he needs to react to your attack, and his life lasts a little bit longer.
And that will end turn.
But will he die if he refuses to take his turn?
Possibly. Veterans. If they're dodging, they continue to dodge. They swat at the spiritual weapon, but there's not much that is going to amount to. The apprentices are remaining inside until further notice. The veterans have lost sight of the eagle, and so will position themselves on platforms, ready to fire their crossbows at the golem when she emerges from killing the apprentices.
Golem.
Yeah.
How rude.
Pretty much. But there's not much they can do beyond repositioning, really, and preparing for her return. Dahlia is thinking whether she should use some of her magical resources to attack those guards who remain, but the Paladin of the Red Justice encourages her not to, and to just let the soldiers do what soldiers do. Right, so you can spend an action if you want, making a perception check to try to find this manticore and then basically have a bead on it once you've found it. Or you can just rely on your passive perception to know more or less where it is, and know that particularly above the tree line, you're easily going to outpace it.
Yeah. If if it's going in one direction, it would take 4 turns to overtake it in time to intercept it.
Sure. So I guess the first question is: are you above or below the tree line?
I definitely want to get ahead of it, so I'd say above. And
Yeah.
predators, which I'm pretty sure it's a predator, they don't have upward facing eyes.
Yeah, good
So,
point.
So yeah, and you said if I spend try to do a perception, if I get a beat on it, I'll be able to follow him.
Yeah, but that'll cost you your action, so you won't be able to dash that turn. Essentially, it's slowing you down slightly for a single
That's
round.
fine. I'll adjust my math. I mathed it out a second ago.
Yeah.
So I will do a perception and at advantage. 17.
17 is going to be enough to pick it up. And so from here, assuming it doesn't make a stealth roll, and at the moment it doesn't know that it's being hunted, so there's no reason to make a stealth roll. It's making dash actions. Until it makes a stealth roll, you can be assumed to be able to follow it through the canopy below.
It's currently 130 feet ahead of me.
Yeah, and you're gaining on it faster than you might have anticipated. Being above the tree line, you've got no obstacles. You don't have to bob and weave, and thus it's actually not even moving as fast as you'd anticipated it was.
And I'm going to go ahead and whatchamacallit, do the 80 feet forward, of course.
Absolutely. Devi, as these 14 and 15-year-old boys with their pink robes die in front of you, dropping their slave stabs, you know that there are less than harem agents in the world after your actions today.
Yep, I will go ahead and move and dash over here.
Yeah.
I will have my spiritual weapon swing at one of these guys.
Have you dash across the planks? Make a DC 5 acrobatics check to run across tree branches that are a little bit wet from constant rain. You nearly lose your footing, but in the end, all you do is make a skidding stop that looks like you anticipated it all too long, and you come to a grinding halt in a melee clash.
Alrighty. Also, are they taking their held shots?
These ones are just dodging, but the rest of them will take their shots, yeah.
Alright. So let's resolve this first, then I guess.
Yeah, let's just do that one. 1, 2, 3.
At disadvantage with the spiritual weapon because they're dodging.
Excellent. That spiritual weapon does not miss.
It's been good to me. 5 more force damage.
And he's being beaten down. His armor crumbling around the helm.
And it'll be 20 for Spirit Guardians this round.
Alright, which is going to finish that one off, and I'll give the other one his roll now to get it out of the way. Not going to be enough.
Just barely fails.
That's it, and weathers him down as you see the flesh rotting and his gums blackening, pores puffing up.
Necrotic.
Oh, it's radiant. It's necrotic, yeah. Yours is radiant, is it?
Yep.
Of course it is. I always just read it as necrotic. So I guess that's just him being microwaved. The burning flesh being stripped from his skin. Okay, there are 14, and without a double natural 20, they're not going to hit. So we'll give them their go all the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, but with a 1 in 400 chance. Very unlikely. Nibble.
Okay, at the start of his turn, he will become visible. he will move 20 feet into the charred building.
Yes.
And then he will launch off 2 arrows at the person Devi is fighting.
Alright, in this charred building, Nooble, you will see that there are a lot of sacks and crates and scroll cases.
Because you said the fire was sort of spreading, didn't you? Like, but it probably wouldn't destroy everything.
Yeah, something like that. Like it might burn the platforms down, but not the trees. Yeah.
Got a better idea because I was 20 feet here, so I'll move 15 feet here directly above Cass. But
Sure.
I will expend a 3rd level spell slot. And just cone of, not cone of cold, breath of cold over the like embers.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that counters them, and thus you're able to extinguish a spot fire in almost identically the way a modern fire extinguisher would work. Just chemically retard the progress of the fire.
And then I'll finish my movement by moving into the wet building.
Of course. And then you'll find the sacks, the crates, the scroll case.
Yeah, Cass will, I guess, 10 feet like up, so he's above the platform, and then finishes movement of 30 feet behind the Devi with the sword and his little talon.
Excellent. There he is, the faithful hound with his newspaper.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how the actions for giving a sword to someone work, but he'll offer it.
And we can assume that Debbie takes it. She is, after all, not under any particular stress, so she comes under fire from 14 crossbows.
I like to think she just turns around in this guy's face and just takes it.
That's it, yeah. Well, the bolts are bouncing off.
They're just all glancing off the plate armor.
Okay, that's my turn.
Hit me! Hit me!
Don't just try to hit me and hit me!
Yeah, there we go.
The guards know they are defeated, but when you face mountains of men like this, like throwing down your arms and surrendering is of meaningless value. And so they die like the men that they are.
And I suppose you don't want to be the first person to surrender to a lone attacker.
Yeah, it's not going to work. And Tarnok will be missed in his pair of assaults, while the Gladiator will be able to deflect both of his. And the guards know that this is their death, but they died fighting, and, well, when they signed up to join the Zentarum as soldiers in the first place, they did know that it might end this way.
All right. So I will take my axe shot at him.
And your series of one-hit kills just continues like a succession, beads on a chain.
It reminds me of those. What's that? It's a battle from Lord of the Rings, but it's like the really bad guy just single swings and enemies are flying.
Yeah, it's like Sauron.
Yeah.
This guy
all the
next.
guys.
And at last, it takes you more than one hit to kill someone. As you swing wildly, and you miss by a good 18 inches. Like, do you feel a little bit embarrassed?
It's shake my head and come around and take the miss and turn around and do a twirl right back at him with my 3rd hasted attack.
Woof. And
I totally did that one on purpose. The second shot was totally on purpose.
It was a flourish. It wasn't a miss.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You wanted to see that glimmer of hope that they might survive, twinkle in their eye, and then as you cut them down. Jesus.
All right. Where's my nearest way up into the treetop forts? I know
probably
you
where
said there was multiple.
Yeah, let's just assume that there's a tree right beside you. There's no reason why there couldn't be.
I should have 75 feet still. With no. Yeah, double movement with haste, so I should have 75. So can I get to there, or is that
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fine. Yeah,
so we'll get to there.
perfect.
That'll end my turn and go to the gladiator. You'll strike him first.
But he is distracted by the advancement that you have made, and he's feeling a little bit self-conscious.
Grumbles to himself and strikes with the second attack.
This one's better. His kills are kills, but they're not as impressive as yours. They don't have the same graphic impact.
And step into him for his third attack.
But he's fast, and he's decisive. So he can consider himself your equal for now.
And he doesn't have to have magic on him.
It's pretty quick.
And then he should have 25 feet left. And that'll end his turn.
Alrighty. The priest is, of course, dead. The veterans decide to hold their fire. Although they can see the Drake now. So we'll target the Drake instead. 14 crossbows.
And I forgot to dodge. Oh, I forgot to dodge. So I guess he's got loads of HP, so he's good.
Did you use all of your movement and your actions? Because if you didn't take an action, you'll be dodging.
He didn't take an action. He just moved up to.
Oh, okay. I thought he dashed. So yeah, you'll get to dodge by default. That's cool.
Okay, thanks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
So 18 armor class.
I can't see a hit yet. No, there's one. 1 for 3. Ha! 1 for 3. So much for being veterans.
He's good in the air.
This one who is now in hand-to-hand with combat with Devi is not going to dodge any longer. It fights with whatever it's got, which is simply not enough. It knows that it can't match her, but he tries to resist all the same. The apprentice wizards heard the screams coming from outside, and they cower with their cantrips, ready to attack if Debbie breaches their situation. Raz. How many rounds do you catch up?
If you want to just make it easier, you can say that the Manticore's turn is right before mine because you took him off the turn order.
Yeah. I can still see where his turn is. Yeah.
So if he was still going, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I just tend to get a little bit abstract when it comes to chase situations.
Okay.
I don't rely on math too much.
Well, if he was 250 ahead, he would be 250 ahead of me now if he dashed in between. So then I'm going for 90 feet behind him.
Yep, sure. So you're coming up behind him. No worries. That's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. Bras, roll a D20. Roll a D20.
16.
Okay. What's your passive perception?
14 for the bird. Yeah.
Because
If
You
it's
will spot.
visual, he has advantage, so it'd bump it up to like 19.
Yeah, it sort of does. Like rules is written, it doesn't, but it sort of does. You will spot down on the ground a robot. There is a 10-foot tall machine man. It looks like it's crafted partly of steel and partly of wood. It has an emblem on its chest that you would probably recognize as something Cormerian, in the same way as we might recognize the modern flag of some other country.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a giant 10-foot tall robot made of steel and of wood with Cormerian insignia upon it, and standing nearby it is a man in long midnight blue robes with stars upon them. He holds a staff, a big arcane, elaborate staff in one hand. And it looks like they're watching first as the manticore goes over, and then as you follow. Like they're spectating on your encounter.
But they made no move to stop the man. Has the manticore passed them, or are they?
The manticore has passed them, and you have not. So it kind of puts them kind of in the middle of it, but down on ground level, where the pair of you are probably somewhere between 160 feet above, as you saw. Or manticore's about. Anyway, you're above the canopy; it's below the canopy. So yeah.
For all he knows, I'm just like a giant eagle or something. But deduce. Do would it take my action or anything to like see like by history or whatever how the Cormerians and the Zentarum are?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. Yeah, Cormerians. Yeah, go ahead and make a history check.
Does that take my action?
Yeah, it probably will, as stop to think about it, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you lose your focus on the hunt, and you're like, hang on, what could this possibly mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to roll a d20 and -1, I guess. Is
Yeah,
that how
go
it works
ahead.
for the bird? I'd be able to think about history as a bird.
Yeah, I think you use your bird brain. I'm not sure about that. If it's just physical stats or
I think it's everything.
With
he
Yeah.
isn't Lars anymore. He's a giant bird with Lars's
He's a
personality.
giant bird. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I think that's a good description. So yeah, you use your bird brain to see if you can remember anything about Cormier, like whether it
But I'm
has
still.
good worms or whether there's great nesting sites there.
Do I have like
Proficiency.
I guess my processing power? So like, where as a person I would think, hey, are these guys friends? Would I think the same way as a bird, or is it only the stats that matter?
You become a bird, so you think like a bird. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Do
doesn't mean that you're
these
not
two
capable of
predators
complex
hunt each
reasoning.
other?
Sorry.
Do these two predators hunt together? I don't know.
Something like that. That's a good way of analyzing it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Fuck. I don't know if I want to burn my inspiration on this.
Sure.
I'm just going to try to just pass over.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that they are big nesting grounds, the Zentarum and Cormier. They're big territories. Whether they come into conflict, who knows? Probably when they meet each other, just the same as any pair of apex predators tend to. When a crocodile runs into a shark, they usually fight or run away. All right, that's enough information. Devi, you are crushing the enemy underneath your heel, and it seems that the Drake is not suffering any worse than you are.
Right, I thank the Drake for my sword. I will go ahead and have spiritual weapon hit this guy in front of me.
Sure.
14 might not do it.
Probably not, but I think at this point it's facetious. It doesn't matter what they do; they're not going to hurt anybody. I think that's been proven time and time again. And so, for us to run through it at this point, I think is pointless. Suffice to say that they don't surrender, that they do just keep firing and attacking, and save for the apprentices, boys and girls, they are helpless against the action. They unleash with their firebolt cantrips, which do effectively nothing, and then turns white as their faces cook and their eyes pop, and the radiant energy essentially burns them from within.
You have chosen poorly.
Yeah, much like that. Yeah, just like Indiana Jones, it just overwhelms them with the sort of energy that superheats them and cooks them from within.
And hey, I would have actually hit this guy with an 18, I think.
Like, if I see Devi just
Excellent.
going in and killing like pretty much surrendered enemies, he'll try to get to the other group and tell them just to like hide or something.
They can climb down
They
the
were fighting
trees,
back, like they're shooting cantrips.
and
They were hiding.
Only when the cantrips didn't work.
Yeah, like
I mean,
they
surrendered
were
enemies
still
like,
shooting.
This cast order
they-
is not the right thing to do. You don't kill surrendered boys.
They didn't surrender though. They had cantrips held for when
Hiding
I
and
walked in.
surrendering are two very different things.
Like they had cantrips held for when I walked in, so they actually would have fired at me as I walked in.
it's
Like, whether it's
semantics. Like,
Yeah, like they're not.
like there are absolutely that they were
That's not
they
surrendering. That's
were
still fighting.
resist. Yeah, that's right. They were resisting in spite of the fact that they had no hope of prevailing. They were clearly the protagonist in this situation. Debbie was clearly the villain, and that is a reflection of the fact that she shifts significantly towards an evil alignment through this extermination. But doesn't make it yet. It's not one action does not evil make. But the extermination of otherwise helpless foes is one of the definitions of lawful evil.
War is hell.
That's okay. Whatever.
And also, I'd like to issue a small correction. The Drake would be silver because I wanted him to do cold damage. I said blue because I thought that would be blue ice, but no, blue is lightning, so it's silver.
Blue. Oh right, yeah. So you would have been silver or white or whatever, yeah. Valid
I
point.
prefer silver to white, so that it would have gone that way.
Yeah.
Oh, you ruined the whole encounter, man. How dare you?
I ruined it.
Soiled it.
All right, so let's finish. We'll clean up with Raz's encounter. Raz, you're like 100 feet away, and the instant you break the cover of tree line, the Manticore is likely to know that you're coming. It might not. It might be so ignorant that it can't. Essentially, it depends on if you want to make a stealth roll first or not. And given that you've got all the time in the world, there's really no reason not to make one.
In 7 turns, I would be 110 feet ahead of it.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
I think at that point, I would dive through the canopy, and then as soon as I hit the ground, I'm going to cast after I drop concentration.
Okay, so you're literally diving past the manticore so that you're going to crash, not crash into the ground, but reach the ground and then transform so that you almost have a head-on collision, but with you already in wizard form.
Yeah, so he's going to basically
Almost.
fly right into me.
Yeah, or at least fly over you anyway, because he's also naturally airborne. But yeah, that's good. That's how I anticipate. You're good.
And I'm going to immediately cast, because I don't have time to check, whatever the bypass Mythal.
Yeah, right. No worries. You cast the spell, and that takes your action.
Yep, and then he can go as fast as 100 feet, so he'll be 10 feet above me. And
Well, he's already 50 feet above you because he's not flying at ground level. He's flying at about 60 feet up. Yeah. You were above the canopy, which is 100 feet tall. He was about rough, and going up and down, up and down, up and down. But he's about 50 or 60 feet off the ground while he flies through the air.
So I guess he would have time to see me for like a split second before I can do anything.
Yeah. That's right. So he would see you as soon as you break the cover of the canopy. When a giant eagle, breaks the cover, it's going to be like leaves falling and a great big crash. It's going to, as you break through the little branches that you smash through. So as soon as you break cover, he knows that you're there. You use your movement to land back down on the ground. You use your next action to cast bypass Mythal. He's still 50 feet up in the air. He just makes a beeline for the canopy. He spends 100 foot of movement shooting up out of the forest, and at a 45-degree angle, so that he's now 150 feet above you.
That's cool. I'm going to put 6 sorcery points into chain lightning. I have 9 left, so that'll put me at 3. And I'm going to, I guess, focus on a branch near him and then have it chain to him.
All right. So I was thinking of something else, but you said that you're within range and you can cast your chain lightning.
You said he was 150 feet away. I can choose
150 feet away. That's right. Yeah.
I can choose a point 150 feet away, so like a branch near him, and then I have.
Well, there's no branches because he's like up in he's broken the tree line at this point. He's just flying towards the sun, as it were.
Is he 30 feet above the tree line?
Yeah.
So 180 feet in the air or whatever. 180 feet. Wait, no. You're cutting out bad for me. Did he cut out for everyone else?
Yeah, he's cutting up.
No, I'm just not talking.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? You can't hear me? 50 feet above the tree line. He was 50 feet below. He has a speed of 50. Did a double move, 150 above the ground.
Can I target the rider and it hit him?
The rider is an object, not a creature. Technically, no, but I don't care. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
So I guess I can.
Why can't you target him?
Because it has to be. So I choose an object and then I can hit 3. I have to choose a target and hit 3 other targets within 30 feet.
I think you can.
Well, you don't have to. You can. They can just like go to air.
Oh,
and hit nothing.
okay. I was thinking very literally.
Yeah. You can use a chain lightning to essentially, if there's no other targets, then they just disperse like fireworks. All right. I haven't seen how healthy this manticore is. I don't think it's going to matter.
He was definitely wailed on. This is the second chain lightning he's been hit with, along with full wand of magic missiles.
All right, and so you electrocute him.
Too.
Yeah. He had 16 hit points left, so he had a pass and he would have survived, but he didn't. So he falls out of the sky with the wizard on his back, still clutching the staff. and they crash to earth like 100 feet away from you. In a pretty severe smash. Yeah, what do you do? Chank, 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 chank.
Oh,
Sounds
it's like
that
beelining
robot is
towards
coming
us?
towards you. Not beelining, but
Okay.
coming towards you. Yeah.
How fast is this thing? Because if
You got no idea. You can only hear it. You can't see it.
we would have gone like 700 feet away and some change. But I guess I'm going to try to go and see, make sure it's dead and everything.
Make an
And then-
investigation roll. Should be pretty easy to find. Yeah, you find it. Let's see if the staff has survived the fall. The staff is broken.
Huh. Have I? Is it? Does it look like a staff of the master to me?
Yeah, it was a staff of the master. Yeah.
Okay. From my knowledge of magic, are you able to repair these things, or is it just a dunzo?
You're not, but there's still valuable components in it all the same. Like, it's probably got at least 2,000 gold pieces worth of shit, platinum, gold, gems, stuff like that, right? So, while its magical use is pretty much zero, it's not completely without value.
Okay, and I want to also like pilfer anything else on him.
Yeah, he has his robes. Probably has some kind of cloth spell book, simple portable cloth spell book. If you've read the spells of Arazu the Thrustlane, then you've already got his spells. Though it's not a very expensive spell book. It's like a Zentarum leader field spell book, if you will. It takes the normal combat spells that they can prepare in the field. So yeah, there's not much in the way of particularly interesting stuff. But the staff is probably worth more than 1,000 gold pieces, maybe as much as 2,000, and that's not a bad haul for 10 minutes of work.
And I also want to make sure I take the Manticore's collar. And would I know if anything on a Manticore is worth it or valuable?
They shoot tail spikes, so that's pretty cool.
But like they don't have any like anything in particular that like is rare or
Wings,
something.
tail spikes, big, you name it. What? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll just leave it be for now. If we need it, we can come back and hopefully something hasn't eaten it yet.
Do you deliberately go out of your way to avoid the robot? Because if you go more or less straight back the way you came, you'll be essentially running into it. And it's getting closer.
I want to take now the time to actually see if I know if Cormyrians, because I feel like the character should know if he's as involved
Sure.
with everything. What do I need to roll for that?
History, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
The Cormyrians and the Zentarum aren't near each other geographically. The Zentarum are based on the Moon Sea. The Cormyrians are at the edge of the Inner Sea. So while they no doubt do come into contact with each other from time to time, as international powers are wont to do, geographically they are separated by the Dales and the No Man's Land as well. So as long as the Dales is affected by both the Zentarum and to some degree Cormyr. You don't know if Cormyr and the Zentarum have anything to do with each other.
Are the Cormyrians actively against the Dales?
No. The Cormyrians are like, imagine King Arthur's court. They are staunch monarchists who believe in chivalry.
All right. I guess I'll prepare to just be like, "Hey, what's up?" Or I don't know if I would go back because they're not going to go that far, and I know where they're going to be ish. If I want to bring the party to him, he looks like a spellcaster, and I don't think if he's hostile, I should confront him.
So what's your plan? Because the robot will be up on you within 10
Okay.
rounds or so.
Do I have like? Would I have anything to write with?
Do you have a writing kit? Because if not, then probably not. No, most people don't normally carry around books and pens. Some people do, but most don't.
I'm going to just carve because I have 2 daggers on me. I'm going to carve like in crude like writing.
You only got 10 rounds.
How much can you write in that time?
You can write a fair bit, but can you carve it out of wood? Not much. A single letter.
No, inside the manticore, on the side of the manticore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So yeah, you might be able to write a word, but
Okay.
they can't put a sentence. Like that's pretty.
Camp. How about camp? And then I'm going to polymorph into a blood falcon, I think that's called, or a blood hawk or whatever, and just fly back.
Make a perception check with your blood hawk. I presume that you get advantage.
Blood hawk. I don't know what their modifiers are.
I'll find one for you.
I got it.
You got it.
Let's see. You said make a perception check?
Yeah.
Okay. So +2 and advantage.
+2 and advantage, yeah.
12?
14?
14, yeah.
Oh, I'll make an insight check. I know this is focusing on one character a lot, but
You said insight?
Yeah, insight.
One sec.
You may realize why soon.
Whiz, so that's another +2. $14.
That's surely enough. Yeah, your bird brain recognizes this guy, this wizard. So you carve the word into the manticore. You find the staff, it's broken. You pick it up anyway. You carve a word in the manticore. You can hear the sound of this approaching machine man, the shield guardian, all plates of steel and wood, clunk, clunk, clunking. And you did get a glimpse of an arcanist with him, presumably a powerful wizard, since you tend to be powerful when you use staves, except for these 4 apprentices, but that's an entirely different issue. You turn into the bird and you get a better look at him, he's still looking for you or maybe a giant eagle. He doesn't even notice a blood hawk fly over, just thinks it's part of the background noise. But you get a clear view of him. I haven't shown you this picture before. See if you recognize the name.
Is he the... I'm terrible with names, to be honest.
Yeah.
Would it happen to be the Dryad dude? Or is it different?
That's him. Yeah, that's right. This guy is a Cormyrean war wizard. He's maybe even the leader of the Cormyrean war wizards, one of them anyway. Hence the Cormyrean insignia. But we've had some issues with this guy in the past when we were in the border forest.
Did we run into him? Was that the guy who...
Yeah.
dehydrated?
Yeah, that's him. Like I can't remember completely clearly either myself, but first we found that he'd made a pact with a dryad that she had 1 year to fall in true love, or he would marry her. the details of the pact. I guess fairy pacts are a bit like that. You know, they just don't always make a lot of sense. And so she was pretty upset about that kind of contract. But unless she falls in true love, then she becomes his property. And then we happened to run into him ourselves, and I think we actually defeated him. I think we killed him, but he had a contingency spell which teleported him away and saved his life before his life could be extinguished properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, he's an important politician, one of the leaders of Cormeria's war wizards. Effectively a minister for arcane defense, if you will.
Okay. So not. Is he an enemy of the Dales, or is he just like a
No,
kind of
not an
bad
enemy of
dude?
That's an enemy of you. Yeah,
You said an enemy of me?
I think so. Didn't we try?
Yeah.
Didn't we kill him?
Yeah, but I'm not going to try to take him on my own.
Yeah.
In fact, we can be waiting for him when he does get here, if he actually knows what I'm talking about when I say camp.
All right. So at last, we come to the end of something that I had actually thought was finished last week, but of course it wasn't. There was a lot more cleaning up to do than I'd anticipated. You find that these guys weren't particularly well equipped. They have a lot of gear that they've been making themselves, gear designed to move other gear, as it turns out. But you certainly are able to salvage several weapons and suits of armor, lots of rope, but only a handful of coins and nothing that you would actually consider treasure, except a whole bunch of scrolls, all of the same spell, and of course several of these not quite worthless staffs.
What does the spell entitle? Tensor's floating disc?
Creates a disc that lifts 500 pounds and follows you wherever you go.
Well, that's dope. And very specific, so I think that would be cool. But the stuff's still vulnerable. Oh, we can't even use it, I don't think, unless scrolls work differently than I think they do.
Yeah, it's if the spell is on your spell list, and it is, then you can use it.
Yeah, it's only wizard.
It's only wizard, right? Well, I was about to say unless it's only wizard, and it is a sort of spell that maybe only does, perhaps, maybe. There you go.
If
So they're
anything, it could
useless
be
to
worth
us.
something.
It's hilarious.
They have nothing of worth, and this is most likely their forward camp for the thing. That's what a-holes. Let's see. The only thing that I think of that would be useful for us is like the rope for where we're going. But other than that, I don't know. They have no fully built carts, just the half-built ones.
They've got the axles made, and they're working on the frame. So no, none of them are actually built. They cut the wood, they make the wheels, put the wheels under the axles, and that's as far as they've gotten.
Okay.
Yeah. So evidently they weren't intending to make any.
Hmm. All right. Does anyone? I think we can just leave most of the stuff here for now. I'm definitely going to inform the party that I saw Jesnar, who these two haven't seen yet. But Dolly and Devi had. But I guess we can leave everything here for now. As for bodies, I guess if anything,
Yeah, nothing really good to keep on anybody I saw.
yeah, besides the gold. So I guess we'll dispose of the bodies for now, like burn them or something.
Not in the trees, obviously. Somewhere.
Yeah. I'm sure if they were building defenses or stuff, they've already disturbed a lot of the ground. So I can burn in like a spot of dirt where they were building a trench without much fear of damaging anything.
Right.
Just to keep like predators away or something. But other than that, we don't have to worry about this place for now.
Do we? I don't know. Do we do something to keep them from coming back, like sabotage it in some way, or is that going to be not a good thing?
If we're killing everyone, they don't have anyone to send messengers and everything.
So, can you define sabotage it? Because I don't want you to damage the buildings.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm talking about like the walls they erected, the stuff they erected around everything.
Oh yeah, we can get rid of that.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
damage
Like,
the fort itself.
Leave it as it was before they arrived.
Right, exactly.
yeah, sure. Absolutely.
If anything, we could just store the supplies that they did have in like one of the buildings if we are to come back later. But other than that,
If we spend a day here, I can like cast a spell, I can like work some magic to help the land like we grow.
Yeah, that would probably be ideal.
yeah.
Are we gonna spend? I mean, because we can camp here now, right?
Speaking of that, Roz is going to bring up that powerful wizard is most likely going to be heading this way. We don't know if he's he's pretty much foe. We fought him before you came to our party.
Coming here, huh? Is he alone?
Uh,
Has he got a small army with him? What does
He
he
has
got?
Would Roz have seen a metal monster? How about that?
You know what a golem is? Yeah,
A metal golem, I guess.
sure.
He has a metal golem with him, but he is a very powerful spellcaster. Speaking of, Roz wants to down the 3 health potions he has because he
Yeah.
is not looking good. I don't know. Dahlia didn't really use any spells, but they're our healer. Would we say that she can heal us in this time?
Yeah, sure. If we want to like take downtime to, otherwise I'll just give you control of her character. And
Will we decide if
y-
we're staying here to deal with this wizard, or are we getting out of here?
I feel like he needs to get gone because he's a pretty bad dude, and he also damn near killed us before.
we're a lot stronger than, like, at least in numbers. We've only got 3 of us here now, with Debbie having left the session. So it's
I've got something to
yeah,
say about that after session, but it's not now.
sure. Yeah. So I probably shouldn't have my input. I don't want to tell you one way or the other, but the last time we faced him, we did defeat him, but we had like 8 players back then, not 3.
And we're not.
Yeah.
We've used a lot of resources, like character
Yeah,
resources.
yeah.
As much as it would be a good fight with just the 3 of us, is it? What do you think?
Then again, we do have the NPCs as well. Like the Paladin
Yeah.
hasn't used any resources as well. The Gladiator's still at 90% strength, and um, I can't remember. I guess whoever else was still back at the camp. So yeah. I should definitely stop having input at this point.
So, are we going to say that Dahlia and Devi aren't here with us at this time, or like, are we going to fight with them? Because I know Dahlia still has charges in the staff.
Suppose if we want to get rid, we can just say we can send them to like look after like the book, like with the
Yeah.
of the wizard.
If you use any of their resources, go ahead and use them, and then we'll send them off to stay with the book. And we'll have 2 half-strength parties instead of 1 75% strength party, 25%.
I think we should go regroup with the other camp.
All right, 100%.
You sound far away.
Yeah, I'm moving a bit.
Okay.
I'm pouring a drink of water.
I think we should regroup with them. One, because I do not feel comfortable with her having the book. I think she would try to hold on to it rather than destroying it if it's to be lost, because it's like a relic thing for them. Yeah, I think we should definitely go back to the other campus and at least inform them that a very powerful wizard, who they may or may not have heard of and may know news of.
Yeah, we can always just come back and cast the healing ritual later.
Yeah. But for now, we're killing everyone. Yeah. Everyone's dead.
Everyone
Yeah.
who didn't surrender.
Yeah, by the
No
time
one.
you get back, like the Zentarum aren't surrendering. The 3 of the apprentices run away. Maybe one of them falls, and the other 2 run off into the jungle to get eaten by displacer beasts. But the veterans themselves aren't surrendering. They know that there will be no mercy, and being the professional soldiers that they are, they die like professional soldiers. And it's gruesome and it's brutal, and but they can effectively not land a single hit on their targets. Your tactics, your mobility, the superiority of your armor being more than their match in all but a handful of occasions. So in the most brutal and systematic way, the tree fort is taken.
For like a consciousness thing, I guess Roz would have no problem with executing people. If
You have to take prisoners to execute them. These guys fight to the death.
okay.
I suppose in Hito, like I get Nubble, he could like try to get play more naive. He's under the assumption if they didn't want to fight, they'd either surrender or run off. And maybe afterwards he realizes that no, these guys they just think differently. He's probably like not doing very well.
Their level of honor was greater than their own sense of survival. They would rather die fighting than running, than live to run.
Bravery and foolishness are often the same thing, depending on perspective.
This might not necessarily have been either, or a big mix of both perhaps, but it was more about duty. But bravery and foolishness played their part, no doubt.
I have no
It's
problem with
just
that.
like he's just having a bad time, probably.
Yeah. And you gaze over at the blood-splattered Devi, who is still radiating the energy, the spiritual energy that extends from her in all directions. And our victory is total. Our victory is total. We took on a force that outnumbers roughly 10 to 1. And we have proven that even some of the most sophisticated military outfits in the world, Zentarum veterans, backed up with arcane support and led by a priest, are really no match for us. Whole armies will fall before us like wheat before the scythe.
Mm-hmm. As one hell already has.
I think we can safely say like 2, like maybe even 3 at this point.
Yeah.
And so we come to answer a question I don't think that we've actually answered. Are we sticking around here at the 3 Fort to see if the wizard, and assume he comes here, to see if he comes here? Are we heading back to the road where some of our party are still watching the book? And if we are doing in either case, how long do we intend to rest for, if we are resting at all? We're pressing on to Mr. North.
Personally, I'd say we regroup with the other group and see what they want to do, because we're kind of in this together at this point. Or this is the determination of if we're in this together or not, I guess you could say. And I also want to know if they have any information on this guy, if they know of him.
Just know the
Head
seeker.
back to
Yep,
our
yep.
smaller
Yeah.
camp.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm pretty tired after that fight. We need to rest.
Yeah. And I don't know how Dahlia heals, but would she be healing us to full by the time, or? I don't know how
Depending on what sort of rest we have, like if we have a long, then absolutely. If we have a short, maybe we have to do a bit of math.
I think
Okay.
before we go into Mythal, we need to take a long rest.
Yeah.
But I think not
Definitely.
in the tree fort. We just need to find a hidden, like a good spot to out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, assuming high-level wizard isn't divining us.
Yeah.
Make sure we're not leaving a trail from the fort to wherever we're going.
Nubble, do you have anything that can do that? Do you have like pass without trace or something?
No, unfortunately not. I suppose a survival check. Could you use survival to hide tracks?
Yeah, it slows you down, but yes, you absolutely can.
And he's pretty far away.
Okay, so we have time.
Yeah.
You can hear him coming, most likely, unless, as was suggested by Tarnok, that he's scrying on us.
I feel like he's not the scry sword guy.
Well, I don't think he would have a reason to yet. Once he gets to the tree fort, if he has that ability, he might.
For all he knows, he saw a giant eagle chasing a manticore that had an officer strapped onto it. And then the eagle, he might have seen dive through a crack of lightning, and then he doesn't know what happened beyond that, except for the word camp carved into it. I kind of want to see.
He may have checked the camp once he saw that. He may have looked at
Mhm.
the camp to see what was going on, like checked it, scried it.
Yeah. Or once he sees what's happened at the camp, an inquisitive man would want to know why this has happened.
But I want to also ask the other group if they know of him and if they've heard any news of him as of late. For example,
Yeah, the knight will know. The knight, she's not Cormyrian, none of them are, but it's her. She being a knight, proper knight, she has to understand the politics of military orders. The war wizard, first of all, Cormyr is undergoing, not actually undergoing a civil war, but is on the brink of civil war. When the king died, his heir was kidnapped. A princess currently sits on the throne, and that's causing a great deal of disconcertation until the baby king can be found. It could spell the end of an ancient dynasty. The war wizards are among the greatest agitators for change. They pledge loyalty to Cormyr, but not to Cormyr under the princess, and thus that means they're in effect acting against the interests of the crown. He is one of the leaders of that conspiracy or insurgency, call it what you will. In modern terms, maybe think of it as like members of the government acting against the prime minister when the prime minister attempts to become the president, or something like that, or at least attempts to assume the seat of the president. It's the war wizards see it as them preventing overreach by an illegitimate claimant, i.e., a woman. But several knights would rather see it as nothing short as an attempt as treason, as
Yeah,
as
kind of
treason.
like a coup.
A coup, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. And as the leader of the War Wizards, that he ranks, or one of the leaders, not the leader, but it's one of the leaders of the War Wizards. He ranks right up there with the most powerful magicians in any country in Faerun.
So we don't know what he's going to do. He may be hostile if he recognizes us, but we are. While some of us are still part of the group, a lot has changed. In fact, I think Dahlia, Devi, and Roz. So yeah, like a little more than half. But with the other group, I don't know if he'll completely recognize us. He might. I don't know if he's going to be particularly hostile. I don't remember. Did he attack us or did we attack him? I think we attacked him.
Yeah, I think we attacked him. I think we had like snipers and all sorts of shit. Like we led the guy into a murder ambush. I'm pretty sure.
So he might choose to attack us. Will the other people make a stand, or do they want to split off from us at this point?
They're right to keep going to Mithranor. They think it can't be more than 10 miles, and they just want to get there. So even having a short rest, they don't need to. None of them are injured, or none of them have used resources. If it means giving up the book, that's unfortunate, but she'll do it because she's going to go with her party. She would rather that you guys walk with her.
Yeah. Could we try talking them into sticking with us so that we may help each other in this endeavor?
Potentially, but they would prefer to rest at the brink of Mithranor rather than wait here, then run into another encounter and then have to wait again, sort of thing. Like they just want to.
I tend to agree with them. Like, we need to rest before we go in, but I think resting away from this area would be a good idea.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
Sounds good to me.
In fact, he probably knows that since this camp is pretty much on the road, someone was either heading to or from Mithranor, so that's either way. I'm sure he would have known of a wizard, a spellcaster, and a manticore in the area, probably.
And I guess the longer we stay together, the longer she has to study the book.
Yeah,
exactly. So she's happy. So Tana, could you roll a d20, please? Thank you, sir. You're traveling along Moen, which is a wormy, grimy path where all of the plants are wilted and blasted, and the ones that have survived are thistles and filled with rock grubs and creeping and crawling insects, which stands in quite severe contrast to the beautiful forest just a little bit further on. But there's a definite sense of corruption here. The natural world is reclaiming it back, but it was still a horrific scenario when the god of rock Moanda came through here and created this path. So it is at first that you don't notice the flies. A few blowflies, a few maggots. You've already seen it all before as you pass along this road of ancient corruption or recent corruption. Event only happened 20 years ago. But then a particularly large cloud of flies can be heard buzzing no more than about 100 feet off the road, and maybe a fair bit less. But you can't see them. The forest is too thick. You can just hear them buzzing in there like a swarm. Maybe they're not flies at all. It could be bees.
I'm sure we've read over the book, or she can look it up. But is there any mention of anything like this in the book?
No.
Huh.
I could try. Huh. I could try dispelling magic at it to see if it's a magical attack or something.
I could ask the flies why they're here.
But they may not be flies, you know. We can hear them, not see them.
Oh.
You can ask a plant what they are. Maybe. Are there any other woodland creatures in this area, or do they look like...
There are, yeah, all the things that eat flies, things like frogs and blue jays, and yeah, so a lot of birds are feasting on the insect life.
I mean, I don't think they'd know why they're here. I think they'd just be happy that they are here.
Yeah. Or if it's normal that they're here, like, is this a common feeding ground, or is this a new thing? Would the other people know of what this is?
Not without going and having a look. No.
Have we had a rest since we ran into the ghost girl who was zapping little gnomes?
I don't think we have. Have we?
So either.
No?
I still haven't gotten my speak with animals back.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been making good time.
Yeah, I can cast it with a spell slot, which I will do. Hey, Blue Jay, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I'm quite full. How can I help you?
There's lots of flies here. Is that normally the case?
Oh, well, yes, this is a good hunting ground, though sometimes the bugs and beetles here make me sick. We know that we can't eat too much from this path, but the hunting is always good, and, well, I was feeling a bit lazy.
Yeah. So there's normally like lots of good stuff here?
Yes, but today there's a particularly large amount. A large number of flies are laying their maggots into some dead horses nearby.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
But, I mean, the elves told me that it would be good to stay away from this road, that it's evil, that it, the sickness will get much worse. Like, I wouldn't stay here.
Oh. Yes, the elves are wise. You should listen to their words.
And I bring their words to you, so you may tell the other birds.
We already know. My parents both warned me to never feed from this road, but it's very easy to hunt here, and so I sometimes come here without knowing, in spite of knowing the dangers. There's never usually this many flies. This is unusual.
Yeah, just be safe.
You too. I'm off to go and find someone to have sex with.
Yeah, have fun.
And he starts tweeting as he sings a song.
There's dead horses nearby, guys.
How near are we hearing this from us?
Like the buzzing. It's like it's pretty close. It's less than 100 feet away. You're walking along this path, and there's always flies, but right now there's lots of flies. And over there in the forest, there's an audible buzz, as if you were near a beehive.
I have detect poison and disease with the rod, but whatchamacallit?
I think casting like
I can't
detect disease on a rotting corpse might be a bit redundant.
I guess the thing is, like, because she said, I take it you're passing on everything that was said, or whatever.
There's rotting horses nearby.
It's making them feel sick, and the animals know not to partake in it too much. So there's something different than what you would usually find.
Does that detection tell you what the disease is?
You can also identify kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. Well, let's see. For the duration, you can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You can identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. Spell can penetrate most barriers, but if blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of metal, 3 feet of wood or dirt. So yeah. But I don't know if I can use it because it's class restricted to not sorcerer. If I have the rod, am I still unable to use that? I don't know.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, the rod is not class restricted.
You said, so am I able to cast it or
Yes.
no?
You
I
can
am?
use
Okay.
you can use the rod. Yeah, anyone can use
Okay. Then yeah, I can detect what diseases are there.
it.
You would have to get closer.
Yeah, that's right. You'd still have to go and check it out all the same.
Yeah. I'm just going to like try detecting it so I can also see if it's airborne just in spots ahead of me, like by 30 feet.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this whole road has a level of spiritual corruption. But there's no lingering miasma that is specifically wafting over from the buzzing flies.
Okay. But I can't sense any disease in the air.
That's right.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll do it until I can either see them or like detect it. Detect something.
What are you doing during this period, Tano?
I am. Can I? I don't know. Using my connection to the wolf, Am I getting anything off at all?
No, man. No, not really. Like it's yuck from a human perspective, but not from a wolf perspective. There's some horse meat over there, and yeah, it's a few days old. Maybe a little bit green, but there's not. But it doesn't make it inedible to a wolf. On the contrary, there's some easy scavenging to be had over there. So there's nothing particularly corrupt or wrong about it. It's not like eating a zombie or anything. It just smells like a dead horse that's been dead for a good week now.
Roz, are you heading towards that direction, or are you heading still down the path?
Oh, was this off the path or is it?
It is off the pass, off in the forest,
Okay.
about 100 feet.
Oh,
Off
if
the
it's
path.
off the path, I'm not extremely worried about it. Unless y'all wanted to experience, because horses usually come with riders, and the forest isn't the natural biome of horses usually. So
Because we came close enough to detect it. Do the horses have anything on them, like saddlebags or anything like that?
No one's going to actually check them out yet. So
Yeah.
do you do that, Raz?
I'm.
Oh, sorry,
wanting to
not
know if
Raz. Sorry,
everyone
do you
else-
do that, Nubble? Sorry, do you do that, Nooble Drakeseeker? I meant to say.
Yeah, I'm sure
Those
that
are like
doesn't
100 feet
seem
away.
too healthy.
Are the horses within sight of us?
They are not, no, but we can hear the buzzing, and we only know that there's horses because a bird told us.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go off the path to find out about these horses.
That's right, but only 100 feet, but maybe not even that far.
I'll go and check them out.
It's a short walk, and our companions are amazed at our level of indecision. Right, like they guys like, does it always take you guys 10 minutes to decide to walk 100 feet? The adventurer's query. The wizard teases. So
Normally there's someone with like leadership skills with us, but there's someone.
we walk off into the forest, and what you find is a camp. There is no protection around this camp. You look for wards or traps or anything, and none of these sort exist. It's an old campsite with some collapsed tents and some horses in an advanced state of decomposition. Huge bloated blue flies are buzzing around incessantly all around. Lots of maggots are here. They begin to eat even the leather saddlebags and the water skins and the rain. But the maggots are eating the leather at this point. Yeah, but apart from that, the tents have collapsed, but they're still. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with them apart from the fact that the pegs have come out or that the ropes have fallen down.
So no shredding, no claw marks, no track.
Precisely.
Do their decorations
Exactly.
show like a particular faction?
Decorations, good question. Not initially any decorations at all. But if you poke around inside the tents,
I mean, there doesn't seem to be like an immediate danger. Don't see why not.
no, there doesn't seem to be. Like you might get some flies land on you, and some maggots might crawl on your feet. But you can give the horses a wide berth. It's just that if you've ever been in like a place where maggots are, they crawl, right? And so you kind of have to crawl through them or walk over the maggots just to get to the tents. Does that bother anyone?
Not really. He's lived in the forest like
Not really.
his entire life.
You're a kobold, right?
The maggots stay away from me.
Yeah, good
They're
call.
not touching
All
me.
right. This is the good call. So you find that within each tent, and there are 2 tents. Each tent has 2 bedrolls and 2 blankets. One of the tents has 100 foot of chain, so a nice big heavy chain, weighs about 100 pounds, big heavy thing. A stone tablet that is written in Dwarven. Do you read Dwarven?
Not me.
Anyone?
I say no.
We were all supposed to gain something, but that would be like metagaming if we all actually did that. Because I don't think anyone chose a proficiency or anything, unless I just am
I
the only
did.
one who
I
didn't.
picked, weavers.
Okay. But I will in the
I have
future.
Dwarvish. I speak Dwarvish.
Perfect. Then this lists the laws of Tediamar. It's not a magical tablet, but like Hammurabi's tablet with his commandments. It's like that. A big ancient dwarven tablet that says what you can and can't do. Well, Moses is probably a better example.
Yeah. The Ten
Yeah.
Commandments.
I tell everybody what it is.
And also a military saddle, which fortunately hasn't been eaten by maggots yet. The other tent has a bunch of firewood, a couple of pounds, dozen pounds or so, a lamp, a flask of lamp oil, and a journal. The journal is called A Tale of Balance. And as you flick through it, it tells a story like this. The Wardens of Balance, they come from Asherbenford, which isn't very far away. You'll see it down here on the map, in fact. A bunch of adventurers that come from Asherbenford. They passed through Shadowdale about a 10-day ago, maybe 20 days. They intended to reach Mithranor, but as you read their journal, you can see that they became routinely sidetracked, repeatedly sidetracked. Every time a rabbit popped up out of a hole or they heard of some quest, they went off and went towards that instead of focusing on the task. They examined every curiosity that they saw. Their lawmaster, whose name was Marriott, he kept a record of these travels. And it ends with the discovery of a staircase that lies somewhere near a boulder, not far from here, though the exact directions aren't indicated. The last entry that Marriott puts into his book is that he and the party are intending to venture out on foot, and they will return before nightfall.
Well, that clearly didn't happen. Or what was the book called? A Tale of something?
A Tale of Balance, and they were the Wardens of Balance.
Does it look like they died of starvation? The horses.
Looks like the horses died probably of thirst. Yeah, plenty of grass.
Yeah. Can we tell like from the make of the saddle? I'm sure we've seen enough Zentarum to know if it's Zentarum or not.
No, it looks like it probably came from Daggerdale originally. Probably manufactured in Daggerdale and purchased in Ashenford.
What's the size of the saddle? Is it
Horse size.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking for like man-eaters.
Yeah, well, he's a large creature, so it could fit onto him too.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you'd
is
allow it.
Mandy still chilling with us?
I think we left him like because we griffined down. He's
Well,
probably
he's probably gonna like. Let's say that Man-Eater claims the Zentara. There's so many human corpses there that he's just gonna gobble them all.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying Nubble? I interrupted.
Yeah, I was basically going to say he's probably still like chilling around that area because that's where we found him.
Yeah. All
Is there
mentors, yes,
anything in the book Mr. Nor about any kind of curses that may resemble this?
No, no. It looks like a pretty conventional situation of a bunch of guys who intended to come back to their camp but didn't.
Biting off more than they can chew, kind of story. And they are probably long dead. Can we like mark on the map where this is? Because I think from like landmarks and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'll put a little tablet there.
I didn't like the fact that they kept getting distracted by side things over
Yeah.
and over again.
I think that was Arctic saying to fucking get on with it already.
Wasn't me
I
saying
wasn't
anything.
playing
It
to
was
make
a
sure.
it was a morality tale. That's
No, like he's like ramped up to do a quest. He's been put like a dungeon. Hasn't run for like years, and he's just like, it's time.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep putting it.
I've never run this one, but no, that is meant to be a little joke.
Well, let's take the point of the story and move on then.
Yeah.
Great idea, and
Sounds like we
and
are heading to Mr. Nor now.
indeed, I think we might be. Nubil, roll a d.
A D1?
1d20, please.
Was that also a test to see if we're going to go look at whatever you draw up for us?
No, you
Like,
walk down the
every
stairs
detail.
and find yourselves in Mythal.
Yeah.
Well, what a surprise!
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Possibly it's Cybler.
Yeah.
So 12.
The truth is, the story is in the journey. I'm a traveler. I do a lot of traveling in real life, and I'm a big believer in the journey over the destination.
There's no such thing as a main quest for me.
Exactly. That's why I was saying. Is it something that's magically making us do this, or is this us?
Yeah, good question.
Oh, it's
'Cause I'm
definitely
like-
us.
Because I'm like, ooh, stairs that people didn't come back from. Ooh, let's check that.
Yeah.
That's right. Like, are we able to find this staircase? Tell me more. Flicks through the
Yeah.
pages. Tell me more.
Any more details?
Excellent,
What
excellent,
were the
excellent.
other adventurers' names?
Yeah, Warden, Balance, and Tenjay.
Are these people of any
Just-
significance other than to make a point, or
Maybe. They
I think we should
as
just
much
come back
significance as you
later
apply to them.
and search.
yeah? Yeah, we know they're from Ashman Ford. We can ask Ashman Ford if they've had any people go missing in the woods. Specifically, however many people it mentions or who it mentions.
Okay. All right. So we must be getting closer. By some of our estimations, we should already be there. But the little tests that we've been doing, such as plucking grass, reveal nothing to tell us if we've actually made the vicinity or not. And then you come to an oddity. It appears to be, now we're currently in start of spring or summer, and what you look into is a finely manicured lawn. There's about a dozen, not buildings, but the foundations of buildings, slabs, if you will, stone slabs raised up, and not much else. So there's about a dozen of these small stone slabs, each about as big as a modern master bedroom. And with they're all within an area about 100 feet wide or something like that. Just a couple of small slabs, all clustered quite together. The grass is very even there, and there are some magnificent flowers, each of them an even height, about 30 centimeters, about 12 inches tall. Petunias and violets and roses, all the same height uniformly as they extend around this garden. And that's in spite of the fact that there are some deer that are grazing upon them, a whole bunch of deer, a dozen of them or so, spotted deer like Bambi, are nipping off these roses and these violets, and and otherwise bringing imperfection to what was an absolutely exquisitely manicured garden. We're about 200 feet away, and we can see this through the vines and the ferns and the cycads and the staghorns. And some of the deer are already starting to get a little bit skittish, but not so skittish that they don't mind eating the roses.
Yeah. I doubt they see. Well, they might see people a lot. Can we tell if anything that they are eating is regrowing?
Not it. Yeah, that's a good question. I should probably look at the property of Mythal. Hope to have that answer already ready, wouldn't I?
Okay.
Yeah, no, they regenerate. Yeah, the plants, they immediately begin to regenerate, to grow and bloom again.
Yeah, the whole reason we've been snipping plants is to see.
Precisely. Our scientific study has at last worked, and it was a bunch of deer beat us to the experiment, beaten by deer.
So can we
Hey,
like
so
rest out here before we go in? Just need to find a good camping spot.
The whole area is only 100 feet across. Like, Mr. was supposed to be a city, not a block.
Do we want to back out to rest,
Yeah.
come back and explore?
Yeah, I
and
think
see?
we want to camp outside of the Mythal or an area affected by the Mythal for now.
Sure.
But we want to. I want to at least discuss it with the other people and see if they're okay with that.
Well, they thought that Mr. would be a lot bigger.
I mean, I think weird magic stuff's happening. I think it's going to get bigger
Yeah.
when we get closer.
Yeah, bear in mind this is the Mythal that we're dealing with. It's unpredictable.
Those
I guess
mages
they
and their
can't
stupid
argue.
illusions.
Yeah, and extra dimensional spaces. Yeah, okay. They come on board. They come on board.
I feel like they would know this as they're adventuring specifically to go here. I think this is a precaution that they would make.
I think you are overestimating the intellect of adventure, the preparedness.
We didn't know.
Right.
Yeah, we're lucky we have a book.
Yeah. Is there any mention of it in the book of something like this?
No, but it definitely seems too small. Like the book talks of a vast city, scores of towers and streets and boulevards, and yeah, it's this looks like a mere block of that city.
I'd definitely say we rest for now and tackle it the next day.
Yeah, we've got to be closing in on the evening at this point, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. No sooner have we made the decision to stop here when twilight all but fades, and the stars and the moon can be seen twinkling high above us in the place of the sun, and the crickets come out, and the nightingales and the frogs. And there we are, a rather large camp on the edge of the Mythal, roasting up what we've managed to forage during our excursion.
Which is
And
useless for
ironically,
most everything else. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, that's someone else, please. No,
I guess.
I was.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's not super important. I was like, I can make bonfires, so you
Okay.
guys can cook on my bonfires.
the party enjoy it.
And I was
Party
going
enjoy it.
to use survival to select like a good spot, like hide our tracks and things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the spot that you find must be great because, ironically, for all of the endless stream encounters that you had while traveling along the road, nothing disturbs you during the night. No panthers come, no wolves, and no unusual things that go bump in the night. You don't see anyone else's fires. And you enjoy some degree of camaraderie with these people whom, well, you've chosen to trust, and they don't betray that trust. And the the events of what could be known as the massacre of the Tree Fort become a shared experience and a legend that they hope that the bards of the Dales and the Moonsea will tell in the future.
So sorry for y'all's ears, by the way, if y'all heard that.
Who's that loud?
That sounds. I don't. For the morality of it, I feel like this war is hell, and this is technically everyone here is not supposed to be here, kind of, sort of. So
I'm chaotic evil in real life, so like morality doesn't mean a lot to me.
yeah.
I think I know evil when I see it. So we camp on the edge of this Mythal.
I guess more importantly, could I
yeah.
like borrow one of like what's it, Dahlia's like revivify crystals in case we need it?
Absolutely.
I'm fairly sure I didn't have the spell because I would have bought one before we came here, but I got the spell when we leveled, so
Not a problem.
Can we also depend on her inspiration? Was it 15 to 17
16.
points? 16? Can we depend on that, or since she's not here today, would you like us to not?
It's probably best to leave them out of it. Like it's simple that way. But if their resources become necessary, then they become available, a bit like that. So yeah, I wouldn't count on it basically.
Okay.
Morning
so-
comes, and as you those of you who are spell select the spells that you'll be using to on this first foray. Yeah, there's a definite dome, a definite wall. It's kind of visible the way a transparent bubble is visible. You can see where the wilds end and the carefully manicured lawn begins, and all of the disturbances by the birds who just fly in and out inadvertently, as if completely unaware of the magical shield that they pass through. No matter what they do, it doesn't actually disturb anything. And so this becomes something of a haven for pollinators, for grazers, and a handful of bobcats and foxes come along as well, but they don't get any closer when there's people nearby. What do we do?
That
We've
is.
had a long rest now.
Yeah.
We've had our long rest. We've camped throughout the night. We weren't disturbed at all. And yeah, and
before we
that was
enter
kind of
the weird magic zone, I will use Drake summon and summon Cassin, and he'll be silver.
yeah.
I'm also going to bypass Mythal before we enter.
Yeah.
Which is good for 1 hour.
We're still
Too bad I can't help
outside.
anyone else.
We're still in this area with the garden, right?
Yeah, well, we haven't got into it yet, so we're still like out in the wilds, as it were, and we haven't where we camped. We haven't yet walked into this 100-foot wide bubble where the foundations of a few buildings or rooms can be found.
We can. I don't know if it's safe for us to cross into it or not. The animals, yeah, but
I mean,
guess there would
we've
be.
already passed by the defenses. Like, I mean, this was a city. Like, it doesn't make sense for more defenses at this point.
Well, you always have, like, you may have a wall in your city, but you still have like guards or gates and stuff like that. I doubt it's completely unprotected beyond these things that we could easily walk past. Like there's whatchamacallit? I can't think of it.
But, I mean,
Anyways,
but we have to go forward. Like, we didn't come all this way just to get scared away by like possibility of a defense, did we?
no.
Well, I can do my daily, since if we go in, I won't be able to use it. My daily commune with nature. It can allow me to get within, make determination about the area within 300 feet to see what the actual terrain and bodies of water, if there's any powerful celestials, fays, fiends, elementals, or undead, if there's any buildings or influence from other planes of existence.
So that might be quite weird. Like if the entire space is actually compact in that like small areas, it comes back as like, yeah, there's 10,000 creatures.
Right, I can see if it's something that's, you know, a magical area, or if there's, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you want to. Do you want me to try it? Let me try that. I'm going to do the commune with nature.
Before you do, I just want to make sure it's safe for you to do it. I want to like pull a leaf or a blade of grass and see if the Mythal affects this area as well.
Well, you're outside the Mythal still. We none of us have gone in. Yeah, you do blade of grass. Does not regrow.
Can you safely cast a spell inside the like target a spell inside the Mythal from towards inside the Mythal from outside of it? Does the book mention anything on that?
Doesn't say no.
Well, hopefully your mind isn't ripped into 50 million pieces. Have fun.
Well, it's either that or we just go in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to do a commune with nature.
Excellent. Can you post the ability if you were able to just press the button, if that works?
Where would that be? It's not on
Might
my
not be set up. Yeah. So what's a yeah, here we go. That's thanks for that. That's cool. Briefly become one. Blah blah blah. All 3 miles of you. Limited 300 feet. Doesn't function where constructed by like instructions. A dungeon, for example. Blah 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 blah. All right, this is great. This is great. So, as we know, we're looking into a dome about 100 feet wide, a couple of substructures, and not much else. There are the only bodies of terrain are man-made or elf-made, so they don't count. There's no bodies of water of significance. There are some plants there, as you know, roses and petunias and violets and so on. It's rich in animal life as well. There are no celestials or fiends, no elementals, no undead. But more or less behind you, a little bit further along Moenda's road, which we have stopped following briefly to investigate this dome that we found, are a great number of fiends, an enormous number of fiends, quite a significant number of undead, though most of the undead that are in that direction are very powerful as opposed to very numerous. A distinct lack of celestials, but not a complete absence of celestials. A number of fae, but there's fae all around you. If you look in a 3 mile direction in an elven forest, there's going to be a fae every 1,000 feet or so. Elementals. More elementals concentrated in the direction where the fiends and everything else is, but the elementals can be found throughout the forest as well, far less common than the fae. So essentially, in summary, when you look forward into this dome that we've camped beside, there's nothing there. But further down the road, there is an intense concentration, particularly of fiends.
Okay, that's over this. It's next in this area. There's nothing really dangerous, but once we get past that, there's a lot going on.
I mean, we could
This
just,
is the safe room for all we know.
we could just go and check
This
if
is the
anyone lives in
foyer.
that house, couldn't we?
Oh, there was a house in there.
I
I
thought
didn't
the
catch
No
it.
house, they're
just
just
garden?
like slabs of stone. That's
Oh,
all.
okay.
Slabs of stone. Yeah. Yeah.
So, do we want to go through? Do we want to go see if we can go around?
I think one of us should pass at first, but I think if anything, we should go through and check it out.
No, I can go up.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you walk through Nibble.
Yeah, I'll approach the because you said like the elven stone stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a definite feeling, a bit like water washing over you when you pass through the Mythal. But naturally, it leaves you dry. Each of you respectively experience this if you go through after. And you begin poking around among the stone. But there's not a lot to see here, Nubble. There's the basements that these structures have are empty. Um, Anything that was made of wood has long since rotted. Anything that has been of value has long since been taken. And what it really looks like is a strange example of what happens when wizards go away. They created this situation, and it's perfectly maintaining. The garden maintains itself. The grass stays at a particular height. The sun is shining inside here, even though there's a light rain out where you are camping. I didn't bother mention because it's always raining. But the rain doesn't fall in here. It's just sunny and dry
I think it's just
and
like a little patch
clean.
of perfect in the forest.
A little patch perfect in the forest, yeah. And the buildings haven't withstood the test of time. Maybe the orcs burned them, maybe they didn't. But in any case, they're gone. And there's the only trace of civilization is the stone slabs, unless you count the Mythal itself, which
I think
I
most
suppose does
the
count.
reason he sort of approached was to, because like when he became like declared an elf, and he probably taught like gestures of respect that you do towards things that are elven, and he was going to give
Yeah,
that to I mean, these are these are ancient ruins. That's what he was going to do.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's having spent the night, which was a perfectly good night, but having spent the night out in the rain and the wind with the mosquitoes and the flies, um, you kind of lament the fact that you didn't camp inside of here, where the conditions were absolutely pristine and simply perfect, climate controlled in a literal sense.
Does anything happen? I guess he'll ask Cass if he feels weird of anything that when they pass into the Mythal.
He does. He feels energized, but also controlled at the same time. Yeah, as if someone was running the lightning through him.
Because I think that is like because this is like a projection of like his power, like how gods have avatars which aren't like their full power. I think that's sort of what I'm going for with this. He's like
Yeah,
projecting into like the material place.
yeah, he feels surges of magic within the weave here.
Do you think this belonged to like a weird wizard like who like lived on the side edge of town? Like imagine that being like the weird wizard in a city of weird wizards.
That'd be a pretty weird wizard.
I bet he wore two hats.
Who was a weird wizard?
In a city of wizards, why would one choose to live out here?
Why would one choose?
Yeah, I mean, or maybe he's a responsible, like a sensible wizard.
There's nothing here. You search, But apart from the fact that it's been used as a campsite many times, this self-maintaining domain is completely empty. And before too long, the gladiator is getting really annoyed. He grows frustrated. That it seems that no matter how far he travels, Mithranor is always another mile away.
I mean, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and we're like at 4,900, so we mean we're pretty close.
He leaves the area, and his party are forced to follow him.
And I guess we'll just follow along.
Yeah.
I mean,
We will
can
follow.
we at least make sure
Yeah.
it goes in the direction of the fiends, at least? That's probably the way.
He continues to follow the road.
Yeah, I'm fine with carrying on. This is probably, if anything, this is already looted. Have they ever been here before? I feel like they would have discussed
No.
that with us. No?
They have not. No.
So they're just as brain dead as we are on this.
That's right.
So
Before
I'd
we
say,
go in,
yeah,
can I get that book back?
She thanks you for the opportunity to borrow it and returns it to him.
do you want me to hold on to it? It's because I can easily destroy it, or do you want to hold on to it?
I think I should hold on to it.
Okay.
And also, I've still got this. And he'll like sort of brush like the twig of recall.
Ah.
All right. So, at last, the road comes to an end. And it ends in a great bubble that so dwarfs one that you saw before as to be comparing a mouse with an elephant. An enormous, colossal bubble extends up out of the ground, shining hundreds, 600 or 700 feet out of the ground, well and truly piercing the canopy, dwarfing the canopy indeed. But as the sunlight touches it, it turns almost invisible. And only when you know where to look to see it can you see the scintillating rainbow of color across its surface. Contained within this bubble is a city that is at once pristine and in ruins. The gardens are perfectly manicured. The trees are currently in fruit and in bloom. The buildings stand tall and magnificent, with stone and steel and stained glass. But alongside them is utter destruction. The rubble, the devastation of creations whose crafts have been lost since to human and elf and dwarf alike, and may never be replaced. And within this bubble is conflict. You can see it going on half a mile away, and a mile away, and a few 100 feet away, as bolts of fire are thrown or telekinetic energy is returned, as small units of kobolds and goblins and ogres take on small bands, armored and armed with various strange weapons. And the whole thing is quite unusually clear because of the transparency of the lack of weather, the low grass and lack of obstacles. And so while you can't see every clash, you're aware that multiple clashes are going on simultaneously within this self-contained ecosystem. Much closer to you, as you enter in from the northwest side, is a pair of giant humanoid vultures that fly through the sky, and everywhere they fly. A trail of pestilence follows behind them. Diseases are killing flowers and plants and insects as they pass, only for them to begin regenerating almost immediately.
As for the Mythal itself, is it like a place that not many people go, or is it like a dungeon that adventurers frequent? I guess you could say.
That's a hard question to answer, but people go. A lot of people try, and very few people succeed. It's the most popular dungeon in the Dales by far. Yeah. So, but the sort of people who go to Mithranor usually are the people that don't need to pass through nearby towns to get there. They can just teleport in and teleport out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone does it that way, but so it's a difficult question to answer. But yeah, it's a theme park.
Okay. So is it not out of the ordinary to have multiple parties of adventurers here at once?
You have no idea.
I mean, we met a party on the way in.
Hmm. All right. Let's see.
Well, we're here.
I hear.
Yeah.
The vultures seem to notice you and curse and spit harassments in the abyssal tongue as they dance through the sky and swirl a whirlwind of ruin.
She just sort of wave back at them.
They rush towards the barrier and collide with it, but they seem completely unable to pass beyond.
Ooh.
They just go up to the edge like, that must have hurt you, kid.
You're face to face with them on one side of an apparently impenetrable barrier as they stalk and scratch and screech. But there's nothing they can do there. The intense smell pervades through the Mythal, though, and the stink of rotting corpses and seaweed and carrion is quite pervasive.
I'm gonna pick up a stone or something and throw it towards the barrier.
Yeah, you throw it towards the barrier and it slows down, but it still goes through, and it does hit the creature. It screeches at you, and they wisely begin to retreat and continue their dance.
So things can go through a bit slowly, but you can't come back out. Right.
Or they may not be able to come back out. They might be contained here.
Oh, I'll check.
For example,
I'll check the
go
guide.
ahead. Yeah. Would the guide mention if this barrier is to keep the creatures in, or us in, or out? I
Thinking
guess you could say.
it's a complete guess, but I'm thinking the barrier might be protection from good and evil. Therefore, like, you couldn't pass through it. Or like whatever there's going to be what's the spell that like stops extra planar creatures going through it?
Sanctuary.
Yeah,
I think Mythal might include that spell.
that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
So maybe originally it was meant like we don't want demons in the city, so we'll put the spell in the Mythal. But somehow these ones got in, and now they can't get out.
And that's the other side of the coin. Yeah, that's also correct. The birds were able to fly in and out of the last place we were at, the mini Mythal, if you will.
I guess they're not fiends, fae, celestial.
Precisely. But as you say, they designed the Mythal to keep demons out. Unfortunately, once the demons were in, they kind of got stuck.
Yeah.
Or fortunately, depending on your point of view.
We also have a pretty easy way to check if you can just come out. I'll just have cast step in and then step out.
They roll for initiative, but he steps out before they reach.
Yeah, it's basically we can step in and out.
It is slow though. You pass through that water barrier, and it distorts your time and your perspective. And it seems to be only an inch wide, but it feels like it's a foot wide of viscous liquid.
Is the Stocky just killing this encounter just by barreling them?
Not necessarily, but maybe.
There's probably a reason for
It's
it.
meant to provide a cinematic and thematic barrier between one zone and the next.
It needs time
It's
to
like-
load.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
The
just
loading screen. That's right. It's just lag.
yeah, it's having to render everything beyond that point, you know.
Mythal lag.
I imagine it like when you like fast travel in like some certain space video games where like you go through and it's like a light can going through the tunnel as you're like going through like superliminal speeds. And then it loads and then you load in afterwards, so that's like the passage of time. I don't know. I'm overthinking it. Dismiss.
Maybe. The rocks are
I don't
waiting
think there's such a thing as overthinking Mythal.
for. They're cool. So, and speaking of not overthinking, like your companions, they have a plan.
So
They
shoot,
have
so we kill them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. They have a plan. They have heard that there is a tavern if you come in from the northwest, and so the paladin has inadvertently made us come in from the northwest. Whether we realised or not. If the paladin has heard that there is an elf who holds a tavern, you come in from the northwest, and the advice that she was given down in Shadowdale, or I mean, if in Flan rather, is that you just make a beeline for the tavern. She points out a building up ahead that looks almost completely nothing like a tavern, but all the same, she has chosen that building as her destination. So what they intend to do is just make a run for it. They're worried about. They've heard that there's a Dracolich that lives in Mithranor, an undead dragon.
This is a long way to come for a tavern. Are you sure that's the thing to do? Like, has it got, I suppose, good ratings?
Well, she asks you, "What's your plan? Are you?" There must be 100 buildings in this city. How do you know which one to go to?
I mean, I was just told there was treasure. I thought we'd just find it. I didn't think this far ahead. Because that's why you're the leader of your group.
Well, if anything, we get information. I don't know about the a guide to Mythalar, but if it says anything like that, like historical buildings or anything of grave importance. But I'd say you look through until you find something that hasn't been picked clean yet.
I mean, the elf could tell us.
Yeah, he's seems like the one person actually living here, from what we can tell. So best information is from the inside. Someone who lives it every day. They know what the other party knows what they're doing more than us, so I'm perfectly fine with following them.
So we're gonna try and rush past all the whatever these things are, these vultures, whatever.
So I know like my limitations. What does it mean? So wild magic, I'm not affected by my spell going rampant or something. And augmentation, does that permit me to still do the spell restrictions, or is just my magic can't go wrong?
I think the magic prohibitions is the 9th level one.
Well,
So you still can't
okay.
divine or charm.
Okay, so I'm just protected from wild magic. So the only thing I need to not do basically is Misty Step.
It's basically, so like, if you cast Fireball, it's not going to do something strange, and it's not going to be enhanced either. It's not going to become like
Yeah,
a nuclear fireball.
yeah.
Can that happen? Like I try to cast Fireball and it like
Just
What do
cast,
you
Instead
think
of-
augmentation means?
yeah, just cast
okay.
Fireball,
So like
and it's like 500-foot radius. Just like, oh, I guess you hit
Yeah.
everyone.
you just got nuked. It's like 50 D8 or whatever. You just wiped Mythal off the face of the planet. No. That'd be hilarious.
I guess we start. Are we going to kill them first, like the creatures, or we?
Are
The
they're
Goliath
running for
thinks we
now.
should. The Goliath thinks that we should, but the Paladin says no, and so he listens to his leader.
Do they have any qualms about engaging them in defense?
Their orders are not to engage. Their orders are to make it beeline.
Y'all go
Well,
on
should
ahead.
we at least split, coming from different directions? What's the
They
plan?
think that's a great idea. They split up from you and come in from a different direction.
Okay, where will they be entering from?
The north, off the screen.
Okay.
We'll wait till they come charging in and see what happens.
Yeah. What are the
Yeah,
whatever these flying things are? What are they doing in the meantime? Do they look like they're waiting on us to come in, or are they just doing their thing?
absolutely. They're dancing around, doing what's called a dance of ruin, which is like creating a vortex of pestilence in between them. And while they dance and chant in the abyssal tongue, they're just waiting for you to enter.
I guess it's sun. It's like, I guess it's dreary outside, but sunlight inside.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's no rain at all. Only a gentle breeze. So it's perfect conditions inside. Whereas where you are, it's damp and dreary.
I suppose I'll try plink off an arrow at them.
Yep. So you fire your arrow. It's a disadvantage, but it's still possible.
Yeah, but I mean, it's daylight
make
inside,
it.
so it's disadvantage anyway.
Yeah, good call.
14.
14, I don't think will do it. It comes close. It comes close enough that the Vrox back off a little bit, but not so much that you can't still continue to target them if you want to. They just make sure that you're going to waste your ammunition.
I'll send off one more disadvantage shot. So all my shots
Yeah,
from this point are disadvantage.
exactly. So it doesn't matter. So you're just using ammunition basically.
Oof.
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't matter which side of the wall I'm on, it's disadvantage.
Yeah, right. So it doesn't matter if they go another 100 feet, it's still disadvantage. So
I suppose.
it's all the same.
I
It's a bit of a
suppose the
strange
second hour
mechanic
was
as
so
well.
pathetic you didn't even notice it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It gets slowed down by the wall so much that it drops a few feet in front of you, probably.
Just so I can like get an idea of how the Mythal works, I guess. Exposure to the Mythal can destroy disease and restore health. Is that like
We don't. Well, the answer is we don't know. Like we haven't
Okay.
tested it. Like the book tells us what the guide tells us, and the rest of it we have to find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously they can still harm things with like disease, but not permanently.
And I suppose before we go in, do you guys have any of these extra dimensional objects? The books, as he's like reading out from the book.
What extra dimensional object is he speaking of?
Bag of holding, for example.
I do not.
They won't function, so as long as we don't do anything with it, it shouldn't matter. It's just the bag of holding, and
Yeah, but when it stops functioning, it could dump everything that's in it out.
oh yeah, that is a thing. I'd say we just leave it like in the nook of a tree or something.
I mean, if you have one, I wouldn't take it in.
Yeah. I don't know who in the party has the bag of holding, but I'd say they just put it somewhere where we can retrieve it later.
Or just leave it with party
Well,
members who aren't going in.
it becomes important since, like, that is, the vast majority of the stuff that we own. If it were to get pilfered by a first level halfling, that'd be pretty funny. Until he got eaten by the Spicer Beast. All right, but yeah, since we don't have party members here, we can consider them to have not come into Mithranor yet, and they can remain outside with the gear. But that is problematic because it means that they won't be in the encounter at the next stage. So it's not a great option.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, I think we just bury it
Um,
somewhere and hope no one finds it.
Yeah.
All right, we bury it, and only a creature with a sense of scent could possibly find it.
Because you know what's worse than losing our stuff? Having our stuff become shrapnel and killing the party.
Well, technically, go ahead.
It's like the random encounter that we just had where we came across camp, someone else comes across our abandoned camp, but it's a little bag of with a whole bunch of shit in it.
Technically, wouldn't have already because we have already passed through the Mythal.
Have we? I don't think we have.
We
Yeah,
went
no, we
through
haven't.
the first
There's
area,
like a
right?
small bubble.
It didn't explode. When we went
Okay.
into the first bubble, it didn't explode. But we also didn't attempt to use the bag of holding as far.
Well, then that just means we can
Yeah.
keep it on us then.
I guess
Yeah.
so. I guess
I'm
so.
fine.
And so what was a fairly pointless encounter, at least did have some use in that you were able to test the limitations of a bag of holding, specifically of extra dimensional magic, and it seems it shuts them. It shut your bag of holding and made it inaccessible, but it otherwise didn't affect.
I've got some. I mean, it smells like cheese. I suppose I'll the help action. Would that help? Like, how could that help you
With what?
with aiming my bow?
Oh, right. Yeah, you can. Someone can take a help action, and you get it to a flat roll.
Just
But
casually doing it.
all right. And so you go ahead. You can do it as many times as you want. Actually, go ahead.
Because I'm trying to get them to just drive them off to like 300 feet, so it gives us gives
Yeah,
us more time. And I
I
suppose
understand that.
he can
That's what I'm trying to
since
do.
he can infuse my strikes, maybe he's channeling energy to help with the aim instead of
Yeah.
infusing. That'd be 22.
22.
All right. And so you hit them, and in their aggression, they attempt to summon some demons.
That'd be 6 points of damage.
All right.
They take that. Vok.
All right. Another Brock appears, having been summoned by the others.
That didn't work out the way I wanted it to.
Hmm. I'm fine with
Spearhead
waiting
it,
on.
wait till they go, and then try
Yeah.
and go.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll put down a party token for them. So they see that you're waiting for them, and
I mean, they see us shooting arrows.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess yeah, and this is what they've come for, and so they head out. And no sooner have they gotten to about here when they are ambushed by invisible demons.
I think
See
they definitely
invisibility.
need help.
All right. And so these creatures leap out and start skittling them. And of course, the Vrox take the opportunity to descend upon Red Justice.
I suppose initiative.
I guess
Well,
initiative.
It's initiative unless we charge past them.
My damage is
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
do that.
I guess it's even initiative if we do charge past them.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're going in to help then.
Yeah.
Or at least either help or just make our own objective. But yeah. Anyway, whatever.
I initiative for Drake again. Can you delete that? He doesn't have. He acts with me.
Sure.
One day I will not make that mistake, but today is not that day
One day.
apparently.
It may not be any day soon.
Did the demons just drop invisibility, or
Right. Like so. Do you have permanency invisibility?
I can? But I'm wondering if I would
Have-
know that there's invisible demons over there, or
But
not.
you, because you didn't say that you were using see invisibility. So like, is it just constantly working all the time?
No, I'm saying I don't have it active right now. Would I
Yeah,
know to activate it?
Okay, yeah, they did just drop out of invisibility. They were also hiding
Okay.
behind a barrier of grass and a perfectly manicured hill. But they leaped out and only and attacked. Launched their first attack from an invisible state. Yeah.
See invisibility is a divination spell. I doubt it would
Doesn't
even work.
right? Right.
You can still action to cast the spell, but just I think at this point we've gone through the book enough times. He may know that.
Yeah. And I'll rely on you as players to pull me up
divination
on it.
spells. Oh, so I can't even cast it.
Well, outside
Well,
you
that
can cast it, but it might not work. Like as soon as you pass into the area, it might just cancel out.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Illusionists.
It doesn't say there's anything negative.
Like illusionists have a great time here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's better.
It says it just does not function, and not that it'll. I can try just seeing invisibility from out here.
All right. Well, you can try it on your turn. Yeah, roll for initiative.
Oh, I thought I already did. My bad.
No worries at all.
Wow. All of us. Oh, except Neville.
Okay, so I'll start with bonus action. So Cass can do something other than limit, like just for him to do anything he wants. Then I'll have him, but like action help me, and then I'll shoot 2 arrows at this rock here. The first one will be with sharpshooter.
All right. And so you're doing it from the because there's no reason to go inside the Mythal, right? You've got disadvantage, so
yeah. So
might
the
as well
first one is
fire
flat,
from
the
safety.
second one is disadvantage.
It's like the ultimate sanctuary spell. Only it doesn't help our objective of reaching our destination.
14.
All right. 14 is not going to be enough. The arrow flying all the way and then falling 5 yards short.
Second one wasn't with sharpshooter, because I said beforehand.
That'll do it.
But I will add infused strike.
All right.
10 points of damage.
All right. And
in case it's important, it will be cold damage.
It may be very important. All right. Well, Tarnok, we stand at the very edge of this bubble shield. Our attempt to wait for the others to go in first has been very successful. What do we do?
Since we are going to help, I'm going to run that way.
All right. The
Is
rocks.
this like
Yep,
a
yep.
big, it's like a big river to cross, or is this?
No, well, it's not big, but it's deep. So it's not particularly wide, but a very deep channel, just some 10 or 15 feet wide. A man of your strength can probably jump over it quite easily. The rest of the party might struggle. Yeah.
I'll move to there, and that's all I can do.
That's all we can do. And so the Vrox
No, wait,
attack, the
hold on.
Balguras attack.
Before, I guess I can use my action to move again, right?
Yeah. You absolutely can.
All right, so I'm there.
All right. The Vrox, who now number 4, come in and rip with their beak and infect with their spores, and the Balguras crash down upon their foes. But the Red Justice resist the urge to fight back, and they merely advance as best they can, pushing themselves through the gaps and underneath the Balduras and so on. And they take a bit of a pummeling in the process, but as it turns out, they're kind of able to handle themselves to some degree at least, and they advance in spite of the persistence of their attackers. Raz. I'll need to move you off the initiative as well. Raz.
That is a very
Firstly,
tempting fireball, to be honest.
yeah, I can't reach it though. But what I can do is, has it been an hour since I cast Bypass Mythal?
Not yet. It's been about half an hour or even 45 minutes. So it's going out, but it's still wasn't that far.
Okay. I'll cast Expeditious Retreat.
Yes. Okay. So your spell functions with no problem. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Yep. Looks like it's
I don't think transmutation is affected.
not affected.
Yeah.
And you bypass the augmentation and the wildman.
Okay, so I am just going to dash 60 feet. One sec. Are we on our mounts, or have we left them somewhere?
Again,
Yeah,
you've got
I
them.
forgot about that.
Yep. So you're able to retcon that if you want, Tarnok, if you want to use a horse's speed instead.
What is the speed of the mount?
60, and it can dash for a total of 120.
I think we have hippogriffs, don't we?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think that's 60 as well.
So I just add another 40.
Yeah, go ahead. What about the hippogriffs? They're tooled up. Super adventurous.
Yeah, flight speed 60, walk speed 40.
Since I wouldn't have realized they would have pushed through, I still would have went in that direction.
Yeah.
I can't cast Expeditious Retreat on myself and then it work for the hippogriff, no?
No, that's right. It's a self only.
Okay. Upon further past reflection, would I just be on the hippogriff, or do you want me to abide by me casting Expeditious Retreat on myself?
Well, you're on the hippogriff at the moment, I think, because otherwise I don't know where they are.
Okay.
But you can dismount if you want. It just takes half of your movement.
I'm just saying, can I say that I just flew the 120 from dashing as
Yeah.
on a hippogriff? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can fly on the Hippogriff 120. That's cool.
Okay, then that's the end of my turn. Sorry.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. No worries at all. So that was Nubble.
Okay.
You are being left behind.
Yeah, so I mean, mounts are very good for one. For seeing as they're just ignoring them, I think I'll just mostly do that too. So I'll have Cass. He'll move dash 80 feet.
All right.
I'll move further, but I'll just 80 feet to keep up with him.
Alrighty.
I suppose I'll stay. And then if it's a hippogriff's action to dash, can I shoot off my arrows?
Yeah.
I'll just keep pestering the one I've been attacking.
Alright.
That's 2 attack, disadvantage, no sharpshooter. $15.
That's actually enough, yeah.
Okay. Confuse.
Break their skin and this pustulant green mass pours out.
6 piercing, 6 cold.
Alright. Another mild injury. A single crack in an egg. But even a single crack will cause an egg to rot. Tarnok, you are rushing towards the monsters while their prey rush away.
I'm going to head towards where they are. The party is rushing. So I will get the 120 feet. I will get to here
Excellent.
with my mount. That way I can move either way. If they can't get to them, I can get to them either way.
The demons move up, although I know that Ras is going before the Balguras, but they're putting the punishment completely on the NPCs for now anyway. And they do indeed fell, both the cleric and the wizard. And the paladin and the gladiator are forced to make a tactical decision as to whether to save their comrades or not. Raz.
All right. Hmm. Fly 60 feet, and then I am going to. Have we run into this specific kind of demon before, or are these all new to us?
Not sure.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and. I don't know if they're resistant to lightning, but I guess chain lightning. These 3. So the top left corner.
All right.
Am I doing a single chain lightning roll or one for each?
I think you roll wrong from. Well, I think you roll a single roll, and the damage is all the same.
I'm going to re-roll 3 of those. So what is that? 3d8. So +4 to that.
Okay, so the two of them are caught up. One of the Brocs and one of the Balguras is pretty badly caught up. One of the third, the rear Balgura is able to absorb it. 40 damage, you say.
41, yeah.
41. It seems that the lightning doesn't harm them as much as you might have expected it to. Yeah. The shock does nothing to stop their internal organs from functioning.
All right. Does it damage them, from what I can tell, or does it do nothing?
Yeah, they resist it, so it's half damage.
Okay. Damn it! I knew I should have magic to fire, but I decided not to. That'll be my turn.
And the party are forced to carry the corpses of their wizard and of their priest a little bit further, or at least the unconscious, dying bodies. In the process, they do manage to kill both one of they managed to kill one of the Balguras, but it seems that burdened and weighed down as they are by the bodies of their companions, they're going to have a hard time making it on foot.
I think the one full of arrows, if he dies, another one of the rocks will disappear as well. I think that's how it works.
The summoning?
Like the summoned one?
Or its summoner dies, so yeah. Yeah, it remains for 1 minute or until its summoner dies. So if you go ahead and kill that one, then one will also leave you.
Alright. Then double.
The hippogriff will move and dash its full movement. I'll attack first. 2 attacks at the injured rock. Disadvantage. $26.
Yeah, that's what's obviously going to do it, yeah.
Oh, 13 damage, 6 elemental.
Alright. And yeah, you're slowly weathering it down, but the elemental attacks that we are delivering to it seem to only have a mild impact upon the target.
And that's the end of my turn.
Excellent. Tunnel.
Alright, I will move myself in a defensive posture, holding my action right there.
Alright. And they willingly take the bait, except one of them attempts to stun you, and the other breathes spores all over you.
Constitution save?
Yeah, Constitution saving throw for the stun, and a further Constitution save for the spores. And I think it doesn't affect you at all when you succeed. And the last Varrock moves in to cut them off.
So I get that attack on one of those guys, or no?
Yeah. You go ahead, make your attack then.
No, I had my rage on.
Oh yeah, of course you weren't raging, were you?
No, so just subtract the rage off of it, and my bonus action. I'm going to rage.
All
For
right.
the pack.
Now, it's clear that your strike was only a middling blow, as you might expect from a creature as powerful as a demon. And that's when they come in and attempt to screech and stun you with their screech and fill your lungs with horrendous spores. But you're not affected at all, while the other ones wheel around and attempt to harm further the already vulnerable party that. Raz, I guess we're saving these guys, but there are other creatures out there. There are other conflicts that are only a short distance away, and the amount of noise that we're creating with our clash, it could be luring other creatures onto our target, onto our position.
Hmm. Let's either that or let these dudes die, and I'm gonna laugh if they end up being bad guys later. But I think we're trying to protect them or save them as much as we can. So how big? Is that covering 50% of the one guy? It's covering 50% of
That
you
would,
as well.
yeah. So that's no and no.
I don't think I can. Oh, I kind of can. I can. Okay, I'm just gonna go with a cardinal one. That would take those two
One
out.
rock, you're a one rock.
Yeah. And that's going to be turned into a cone of fire.
Alrighty.
$37, and they don't have resistance.
Alrighty.
It will not.
Demons are greatly angered.
Cannot pull up my chat. Am I? What the heck?
Greatly injured, but not greatly wounded.
Hmm. Did the lack of resistance seem to have more of effect on them?
Certainly did, or at least, yeah, it did. And the Balgur fire, the Vrox, however, are formidable enough to endure these antics, and they begin screeching out words in the abyssal tongue, screeching out as if calling commands or for assistance or some sort of alert.
Okay, and I'm going to then take. Yeah. I'm going to then move 55 feet this way. If my actual arrow would move so I can measure. Oh my god. Why is it being so weird?
Yeah, that's 55. Okay.
Angered at the
I don't think I'm-
fireball, the Balgura starts scrambling down the hillock, turning invisible as it scrambles. And though the thudding of its feet and the screaming of its war cry can still be heard as it chases Raz for his audacity. The Varrock's attack, but we've already done their attack, I think. The Red Justice inch ever forward, coming under constant attack as they do so. And then, seeing as no one's going to take the bridge, the Chain Devils, which are lurking down beside the ruined bridge, emerge from the pristine waters and seek to join the fray as well. Noble, you look behind you as you see creatures dripping of dripping chains, hooks, and blades and edges form together, and they walk on these chains. They're standing still with their arms and feet, while the chains act as great limbs that propel them forward.
So it's like he sort of has like a goal in mind, because like he sort of took on like, because you know the priest was like, he's like too young to be. He's basically a child, isn't he?
Yes.
So like the reason he sent him out to guard the book was basically not because he thought he could protect the book, but just like, let's keep him out of the danger. So he's
Yes.
sort of taken like a sort of responsibility. He'll have his hippogriff because he's move and then land, so he's running like side by side with the person carrying the priest.
Yeah.
With his climb, have him like climb, like stand up like on the hippogriff and try to feed like the priest one of the good berries.
Yeah, sure. And the paladin's cured his disease. You giving them good berry, and he wakes up from unconsciousness. And she puts the body of this priest on the back of your hippogriff.
I take hold of him and take. I think I have rope. I'll just hold him. I don't have a rope.
All right, make an animal handling
By
check.
the way, I have a military saddle.
There we go. That's what you need. That'll do.
I'll put him in the saddle and I'll go like bareback, if you know what I mean.
Perfect. All right, so that's great.
I'll have Cass fly closer to like where the fighting's happening.
Yeah. The chain devils that emerge from the river come towards their nearest target. One of them getting so close to Raz that he pins him in with a series of chains all around him, and the other one closes in. It screams out something or roars out something in the infernal tongue, and the demons answer in abyssal. There is clear animosity between them, but that doesn't mean that it can't rip up Raz on the way there.
Do they have the range to grab me mid-flight?
No, they took a dash action.
Okay. All right.
Tana.
All right, swing and move, swing and move. Let's take a swing at this guy here.
All right. That connects with ease. That's another mild injury.
Mild injuries, lovely. I'll take the second swing, the second attack.
Connection. And this time you crack its beak, aggravating it, causing the pustulant green liquid to flow freely. But It's far from decisive.
All right, and then I will move.
2 attacks of opportunity. Neither of which come close.
And that will end my turn.
Alright. And seeing as how much pain you are beginning to inflict on them bit by bit, seeing as how vulnerable this group is, the Vrox continue to concentrate on the weaker of the foes, and once again wrap up their targets and hit them with spores and several attacks. And one of them snatches away the corpse of the boy, takes it straight, tries to take it
healed
straight
the
out of
boy?
the saddle, but the military saddle straps it in.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
it'll be an opposed strength check between the Grok and the Griffin.
What's the strength of a griffin?
The hippogriff.
Hippogriff?
Hippogriff, rather, yeah. Do we have the stats for a Hippogriff, or I'll look them up?
Yes. The strength for a hippogriff is +3.
All right, that's better than I expected. Guess horses are pretty strong. Makes sense.
Ooh, you still have to roll really good though.
Can I use my inspiration
so-
for the hippogriff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Done. And it grabs this guy, and the Hippogriff tries to take off, but the rock has a grip, and the Hippogriff tugs harder, and maybe rips a great chunk of his robes, leaving the boy with torn ceremonial clothing. But you free him all the same. Raz, these rocks are not one of them is looking in a critical state yet. Not one, and at least one of them is uninjured completely. This battle is going to be a pyrrhic victory, and that's to say nothing of the chain devil that you're engaged in.
Yeah. I want to proceed, if we don't want to do Pythagorean theorem stuff, to just fly straight up 60 feet from where I am.
You can travel in diagonals, by all means.
I mean, I just want to
It's
get
going to have
higher.
much the same effect.
Say again.
It's going to have much the same effect anyway. So yeah, please continue.
So I guess I want to say, like, how high would you say I would be? By default flying.
Yeah, just assume that you can travel 60 feet up and forward. Like, that's
Okay.
fine. It's a diagonal. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm just going to go.
Yeah. Sure thing. Provoke attack of opportunity from the chain devil that's around you.
Uh,
16 won't do it, will it?
no,
Will it?
no. Unless he was attacking me. How far is their reach?
10 feet.
Oh, so would he be able to attack me?
Oh, I was presuming that you were.
Oh no, I'm flying through the air.
Yeah, of course.
On
My
hippogriff.
mistake. Yeah.
Yes, so for future, I like to use like the little wing to show that like something's up with the token.
Oh, I can't. On Mac, it's super weird
Again,
to change
I
stuff.
don't know what makes like.
Oh, you can't like do double clicks or anything because of the mouse I'm using. Because I'm on a work computer. So I guess I will just try a good old fireball. Hasn't let me down before. That would hit Tarnok. Unless, are these guys in the air? Or are they on the ground?
Yeah, they were also in the air, but they're diving down, so they're
Okay.
like at a height of about 10 feet up. Yeah.
How high are you at, Tarnok?
I was the same level as they were because I
So
was
you're about
attacking
10
them.
feet above the air? Okay. Would that hurt the other group?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just going to firebolt then.
Sure.
At the top left one.
Yeah, boom. And so you strike it. And it's a decisive blow because it can't be resisted, right? Like no resistance?
No. Not with my elemental affinity.
All right. And yeah, so that's the end of your go.
Yeah. That'll be it.
You hear the thundering charge behind you, near where Tarnok is, actually, as that ape-like gorilla screams and thunders, but you can't see where the thing is until clash, it collides with one of the chain devils, taking it completely by surprise, and they begin to smack down upon each other, completely ignoring you at this point.
What a Chad.
The paladin attempts to paladin and Goliath attempt to cover the withdrawal of the elf and on the hippogriff who's carrying the unconscious priest, and so they hold their own for now, and will be able to sustain this fight for some time longer. Novel.
Which one had the elf wizard?
The elf wizard is conscious, but like moving forward on one hit point, right? Like she's shuffling her way forward.
Okay. So I have a plan. I'll fly straight up with the hippogriff, like 20 feet, so they can't hit me, and then I'll fly. That's 80 feet total. So I can drop the priest up inside the building.
Yeah, brilliant. And so you chimney or the front door, or what do you think?
I'm guessing front door.
All right. So the manor is divided into multiple wings. There's a single long hall or parlor or something, which is quite tall, like a ballroom might be, and then 4 rooms extend off, like legs on a turtle. And you approach the head, you approach the front door, and surprising perhaps no one, the door is closed.
I suppose. Because I suppose 20 feet back down towards the ground.
All right. Can you read Elven?
I think I can. Yes, I can.
You will spot elven signs and ruins that indicate that this is a place of welcome and of sanctuary, of safety, and a brief glance of these ruins will tell you that fiends are not permitted within these walls.
Yes. Interact with object, try to open the door.
And it's heavy, but you've got enough strength left to push it open. You find yourself staring into a parlor, which, well, despite having a very grand staircase at the end of a very long hall, is almost entirely devoid of furniture. There are a handful of elves within.
I suppose I'll throw them like a quick respect sign, and then throw the priest in, and then fly off 20 feet straight up, ending the griffin's movement.
Indeed. The
And then
chain devils engage the Balgura.
I'll have
Sorry,
Cass
keep going.
attack
Yeah,
the one that's
Cass.
next to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
He'll just do a little munch. 22.
22 munches.
That's 9 piercing, 9 cold.
Alright, and the piercing is effective. The cold is not.
That's the end of his turn.
Alright. The chain devils move into take on the Balgura, and they finish it off with relative ease after you already weakened it. They then to advance, and that draws them into a place where they are able to threaten Tarnok without getting directly into his face. All right, so Tarnok, you are in a difficult position now. The majority of the party beginning to
Little bit.
evacuate, and you're slammed in between demons and devils, which is would not have been available to you in second edition Dungeons. They weren't around. Anyway, yeah, so these chain devils are coming from one side, the Vrox are dive bombing from the other. The party is making their way towards the objective. What do you do?
It seems like everybody's with an objective, so I will shoot down the middle towards the cottage.
Brilliant. The chain devils reach out with their extended chains and strike at you once each. Oh, they don't hit, do they? No, not even.
Would they have attacks if they just killed the monkey dude in the same turn?
They have their reactions, yeah.
Okay. Reaction. So 40 feet movement and then dash. And I will end my turn there.
All right. The Vrox take a couple of parting shots at the Paladin and the Goliath, and at Cass as well. Makes one multi-attack on him. Not a very effective one. And then they go to confront their true enemies, the Chain Devils. Raz.
Is there anyone else over at the party severely injured?
Yes, the mage is hopping along at 1 hit point.
Can I go swoop in and get them on the hippogriff with me?
She's not surprisingly light, being an elf, and most of her mass is probably in the form of books. Climbs up onto the hippogriff and you sail her to safety.
Okay. This probably should have been what we did the whole time, because there's what, 4 people?
Withdraw! And
yeah, probably.
Is Dahlia with us, or are we saying she's not with us?
I think she'll,
Because
teleport
she
it
could
when
try
she's with us.
healing. You can't
yeah,
teleport.
we'll assume that. No, we'll assume that the rest of the party was running alongside us the whole time, and maybe they just didn't get attacked or whatever. Yeah, we'll just hand wave those sort of things. Particularly since we didn't need to leave our bags of holding outside. Yeah, so we make it. We make it to a strange place. It was once a government building. It's simply since been converted into a tavern, but a tavern not like any other. Very little in the way of furniture. It looks like what a ballroom or a grand manor from the set of Gone with the Wind might look like if all the furniture were removed and there was just a grand sweeping staircase at the end of a long hall and a few wings, but it's not completely devoid of furniture. It's just that what it has doesn't match the rest of it. A marble statue of a dwarf here, an elven vase there, an old human suit of armor, alongside a painting that no longer has a frame that was made by gnomes and some kind of impressionist quality. It's just a complete mismatch of different articles of art lying hither and thither, without any attempts at theme or really even attempts at arranging it for display purposes. The back room of a museum, if you will. And at the far end of this corridor, up near the flying staircase, are three elves who appear to either be in meditation or enjoying quiet conversation. And as they hold their spells and their bows, and one of them bears a lute in her hand, they wait to see what your reaction will be as you enter the Planewalker Tavern.
Would
So
there
I
be
guess
like?
we'll leave that for next week.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like, would
So
there be
what
like
were you? Yeah.
sign like my character was taught to like a sign like I'm an elf friend, or is that?
Yeah. No doubt there would be, some kind of secret elven handshake. And they return your hand signal. Welcome, friends of our cause.
And then I guess we will end.
And then we can end.
Goodbye, internet.
Yeah.
Goodbye, internet. Thanks for watching.